Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your favorite old head, Uncle Demi, and welcome to the Uncle Demi podcast. And today we have my man Power DF, a prominent YouTuber and streamer, widely recognized for his exceptional NBA 2K gameplay and innovative content. As a key member and leader of the former Power DF clan, Power has built a substantial following, boasting over 750,000 subscribers on YouTube and a strong presence on TikTok and Twitch. One of the most intriguing aspects of Power DF is the mysteries surrounding his identity, as he has never shown his face in videos or streams. This unique approach has only fueled his popularity and curiosity among fans. Beyond his gameplay, Power is known for his outspoken nature on social media, often addressing topics that many creators tend to avoid. His candid opinions and willingness to engage in controversial discussions have earned him both admiration and criticism within the community. Additionally, Power DF has been at the center of significant drama, particularly involving former DF clan members and other prominent creators. Despite the controversies, he continues to be a central figure in the NBA 2K community, inspiring and entertaining gamers worldwide with his dedication and creativity. My nephews and nieces, everybody around, let's give up a good warm welcome to the man himself, Power DF. What's up, my man?
Thank you. Hello, thank you, Demi. I had an intro for you. You didn't let me give it. Is it time? Can I do my intro too?
Yeah, hey, ready? Okay, yeah, let's do it. I gotta hear it.
I
Let me
got
hear it.
you.
I've never had this
I
before,
don't know.
so
I don't have it as well written as you did, but one of the things before we start, because I always see you, I watch these podcasts all the time and see you introduce people, and you give a lot of people their props, and I wanted to give it kind of back to you. And
dope.
one of the things that I think I've always really kind of admired about you is how you represent yourself in this community. And I think if you know about this, but in this space, it's very easy to be negative, to be hateful. And I feel like a lot of
Mhm.
people, even myself, I felt this way. It's like you have to, some people feel like they have to feed into that to be successful and a popular content creator. But I,
Yeah.
I think you chose a different path. And I think you've inspired a lot of people, even me, where I look and it's like you can go out there and just be your authentic self and being successful. And so I wanted to let you know that. And thank you. Thank you for the introduction, but I wanted to give you one too.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate that. I really do. I mean, that means a lot. And yeah, you're right. I think that's you hit it right on the head. I think that a lot of creators get lost in the mix, understanding that they gotta, you know, see what one creator's doing is make them successful, and then they try to tailor off of that instead of just being
It
yourself,
doesn't mean it's,
you know?
yep.
So if you be yourself, you never get caught, you never can get caught in a lie. People always see when you're not authentic. And if you remain consistent, which I feel like I've had, consistent just
Yep.
being who I am, no matter how the community sometimes push back on me for, leaning too much towards 2K, the company, and not
Or
too
what
much
they
towards the
call.
community. Yeah, I'm going to just, like I said, I'm always going to stand on my morals and my vows. And if I think this is okay, it's okay. I don't care if y'all think differently, but, I appreciate that though. I appreciate that. That means a lot. So, but obviously we know, as you can tell, you finally came out and showed your face. But a lot of people don't
Yeah.
know, of course. But I've known your face for the past 2 years. You showed me 2 years ago your face. You sent me some
Yep.
pictures to show me who you were when I was doing my tournament. And I don't know
Yep.
if you remember, because when we were doing a tournament, a lot of people don't know background is that 2K they they asked for like your first last name. I don't know if they do like a background check, but like before you
They
can
do.
certain
Yep.
things, yeah,
Yep.
they have to know who you are. So you was like, well, I mean, shoot, if you're gonna get my whole government, I'm just gonna show. And I was like, I bet. So you showed me. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, yo, you actually look like what I envisioned what you look like. But I think this will lead right into like, me. Listen. One of my closest friends in the community, Lamonster, he hasn't shown his face, right? So, um,
Yep.
and it's so funny, Coach, who's the producer that's in our ears. He was just telling me about V streamer or something like that, where the girl that just beat Castanet subscription record for Twitch, she doesn't even show her face. It's like an avatar. So it's not like
Yep.
it's so far fetched to where it's crazy. But for some reason, out of anybody in the 2K community, you have always been the one that people just for some reason, shape, or form, as weird as it sounds,
Yeah,
they
people.
just want to know what you
Yeah.
look like, right? Like, So
Why do you think
let's
that
talk
is?
about.
Like, I feel like a lot of
I
people is
know.
like, yeah.
Hey. I don't know. I don't care.
I have some theories about it actually. But where you specifically want me to talk about it? About
No,
it.
lead off with the theory. Like, why do you think? Why do you think that?
Yeah, so it's always been, I think there's a lot of controversy around it because I don't know if you know the history about it. Like, I had this mystery
Mm,
about it, but people would bring it up and talk about it. Even like the kind of beef I had with Nate, he would always call me catfish, catfish, catfish. I'm like, who am I catfishing? Like
yeah.
my understanding was a catfish was pretending to be somebody else, but he would call me catfish, catfish, catfish. So people would be like, what does he look like? What does he look like? And then I just been in the community for so long. And then I think some people say, well, it's like, oh, you have a really unique voice. And then I think that's why it causes some people to guess about it. But I don't know. Like
Mm,
I've seen a lot of other people and it's like they don't show their face, but it seems like people aren't trying to hunt them down like people try to hunt me
yeah.
down. Like it's like,
Yeah.
why are you guys so obsessed? Like, but
Yeah.
it is
No,
what it
you're
is
right. Like I
now. It's
said,
out there.
it's out there now. Like I said, my man Mont, he's never shown his face. And there's
Yeah.
no controversy about that. I don't hear people always saying like, "Yo, why
Yeah.
is the monster? What
People
does he look like?
chill.
What does he look like?" Um,
Yep.
so for some reason, shape, or form, I think one thing is that you are like, again, like I said in my intro, you're outspoken. So sometimes people want to
Yep.
put it,
That's
they
true.
want to put a face with that name. You know what I'm saying? And
Who's saying
so
that? Yep.
because but
I
it's
get it.
just it is what it is. So I think that kind of pushed it to where people really want to know like who they about to cuss out, who they about to chew out. I want to know who I'm talking to, right? Type of deal. But yeah, so I think that makes a lot of sense. But answer this question. So why now? Why now? Why not show your face?
So it wasn't something I was like intending or trying to do. I don't know if people have been paying attention to Twitter or TikTok, but people have really just been trying to like, let's call it like it's like a stalking mission of me, and it
Yeah.
became like kind of this burden on me because people would look me up. They're trying to find where I live. They're trying to find where I went to school or where I go to school, and then they try to find like all this information, old videos of me, and then it's just like a slow drop. Like I think somebody posted a photo of me a while back, and I was like, whatever. And then people are posting the video now, and every single time people post it, it gets like thousands or millions of likes, and it's like I was kind of tired of just like having to like hold this in or hide
Right.
it, and people feeling like they can try to expose me. So I was like, I'm just gonna drop it myself. And now to show you guys have no power over the situation. You're not doing anything by trying to, oh, we showed your face. Like, you know what I mean? Here I am.
Yeah.
You can see me. And it just takes the control out of them from the situation. And so that's what I'm thinking about it. And, I like the personal, like private, like, I like to keep the two kind of things, like what I do off the game and what I do on the game. Like, I like to keep that separate. But, you know what I mean? It is what it is. We're here now.
I
And
agree. No, I
I think it
definitely
needed
agree
to be
with you,
done.
bro. Separating the two is great. I remember, like I said, I came
It's,
out during the pandemic, or maybe a little bit after pandemic, showing my face and stuff.
yep.
And things really took a change once I showed my face
Oh, they
and
did?
people
Yep.
knew who I was. Yeah, of course, you
Do
got
people come up to
friends and
you,
stuff,
Demi,
and
or no?
hell yeah. Hell yeah. My kids are like
Oh,
real popular. Yeah. My kids are real popular in school, man. That's Uncle Demi's daughter. That's Uncle Demi's son. Like, you gotta think like that age group watches our stuff. So but
that's
it's
true.
that protection type deal where you're right, where you could just literally cut it on, cut it off, and have that freedom.
Yep.
Obviously I'm not on no like big level, but you could imagine like certain people
You pretty big.
how much like you see people like Kai and all those streamers like they got to walk with security,
Yeah, that must be bad.
because you get so big that you are a celebrity and you need that protection. So it's like to be able to have that kind of like force field in between where you can just separate the two. There is
I love it.
benefits in that, but then opportunities for me, and of course now there'll be more opportunities for you, because
Yep.
now that you have your face out there, now you're able to do more with other companies and and that type of deal. There is benefits by being able to do that. So there is protections there. I will say it's unfortunate that people are trying to dig up stuff on you to try to find where you are and expose it and take away your shine and stuff. I mean, if like people got that much spite in somebody to where they do that,
I
that's
brought
just
this up, Demi, and it's actually crazy to me because this is how vengeful these people think. But they dropped this. My birthday was Friday. They dropped this
Hmm.
exactly on my birthday, and it was almost felt like to me. I guess it could have been a coincidence, but they had this info, they held it, and it's kind of like this childish mentality. And we're like, okay, let's drop it on his birthday so we can ruin his birthday, guys. Like that's the way people
Wow.
kind of think, and it's exactly like that's the way people kind of think in this community, and it's kind of scary sometimes. But people be thinking I'm
Yeah.
paranoid. They're like, oh, nobody cares. I don't know, man. There's some
Yeah.
strange people
Yeah.
out here.
I'm not
That's
gonna
all I'm
lie.
saying.
That takes a lot of research and digging to try to find pictures of you. I mean, where do you
Yeah.
think the name, like, how do you think people got information that early to be able to pull that
Um,
type of stuff up on
I don't know for sure. I tend to think that it was probably, you know what I mean? When I was in DF before, I told some people, showed some people my face or showed some people information about me. Somebody in that clan that didn't like me probably just showed it to somebody else, and then that person probably leaked it, and it
Ah,
spread, you know what I mean? Once you get it. So
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah,
knows?
yeah.
But
Mhm.
or maybe they gave him a name and then they searched up this name themselves. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
people are very curious.
Nah, that is true, man. Like I said, man, the internet's always undefeated. As you know, with me,
Mhm.
like the beautiful thing about it is by being older and not really caring about social media that much, that I can just go off and on
Mm,
in it and not really care, right? What's going on social media. Like
yeah,
the beautiful thing about it is that I put my phone down, my life still does whatever it wants, whatever I want to do. Like my life is still great. I'm still dad. I still go to football practices. I still got my daughter's events and stuff, my kids, wife, all
yep.
that, you know. But the internet's always gonna be undefeated. I've been in moments where like the community was so mad at me for like my opinions on certain stuff, and I'm just like, all right, cool, no problem. Cut my phone down,
I don't
and I
care.
don't care,
Yep,
right?
that's I'm the
You know what I
same
mean? And
way.
people are like,
Yep.
dude, did you see that what they said? I'm like, no, bro. Like, what you talking about? I don't
You
really
can
live on
think
I
what
don't
you
live on
want.
the
It's
internet
like
like that. Yeah,
I don't know y'all.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that you turn a negative situation, and of course, just like how it always is, man. You took lemons, you made lemonade, brother. So um, I definitely applaud you for that. And my next question would be: now that your face is out there, I'm pretty sure now you're gonna have old high school friends. Hey, Aggie Pride, as you all know, we both
All right.
rocking Aggie Pride. We're both. I'm a.
Yes,
I
sir.
graduated. I graduated. You know, what I'm saying a little bit before you, not that long ago.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's funny is that like when I went to A&T, it's a different A&T. Like you go to a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful campus. We were at the beginning of that. Like the original Scott Hall was still up for me. Like you can still see
Did
the
they
bullet
have
holes and stuff from the
did
civil
they have
from the
did they have like the GCB or crack hall there yet or no?
nope, nope, nope. So
Oh,
like when
yeah,
we
you
when we
way
was
back.
there, they tore down Scott Hall. So the new Scott buildings were built during my time there.
Yeah.
Um, the new classroom building was built when I was there.
The
Um,
ACB?
no, NCB. New classroom building. Back
Okay.
then, I don't know if it's because it's the glass one, like it's all
Yeah,
glass. It's over there
yeah.
closer to the
I know what you're
football
talking about.
stadium.
They renamed
Yes.
it. They renamed it recently. They call it the Henry Fry after the lawyer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
See,
you got to
like
catch
it was
up.
this new classroom building. We had the
Yeah.
the Aggie Suites. E and F was just made.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we were in and of course where the bookstore is at. Well, that used to be open where cars could drive and stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like there was
Yep.
it wasn't pedestrian friendly as it is now, So um A&T's came a long way, man. But you and Aggie, so like that makes you even like I literally called you today, and I'm like, no, last night I called you. I'm like, bro, you 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 and A&T. I'm like, dog, how you ain't tell me? He was like, oh, I thought I told you. I was like, no, you ain't tell me, man. Just like I was like, you going to G Ho? I was like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be this weekend, bro. Like we gonna link, So I think that's dope, though. I think that's dope. You chose the right school, man. So, but what I was saying too
Yeah.
is like classmates from the past, friends, family members. What are they
I
saying
had
about this?
I had people I knew from middle school and high school like come to me, and I'm like, oh no, like because I'm telling you, I'm a person that I don't tell people, and people are surprised by that. They're like, people don't know, and I'm like, no, they don't know because I've never felt the need to go around. I don't want to be known as that YouTuber or that streamer. And I didn't want that to define me completely as my personality. It's something I did for fun, but I didn't feel the need. Like I've never wanted to be famous. And
Yeah.
I don't. I think a lot of people like. I never even wanted to be a YouTuber. Like I gotta tell you the story about how I started my YouTube, but I never really wanted to be YouTube or make videos or to be a streamer. It just kind of happened, and so
Okay.
I've never felt the need to tell people kind of about that in my life. So a lot of people that they've known me, different things, they're like, "Well, I didn't even know like you have a YouTube channel," and
Yeah.
people are generally cool about it. People haven't been weird about it so far, but we'll see. I'm kind of worried about like random people approaching me, but I think the people that
Yeah.
know me, they're cool. They care about it.
Yeah. How about your family? Like your immediate family, like your parents?
Oh yeah, they know about it, but I have older parents. They don't be on the internet. They don't watch YouTube. They don't.
Ah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh,
So
you
they
got
don't.
something
Yeah.
cool. Like we don't care. Like
Ah. Okay. That's even dope.
they
Okay.
don't care.
He's like,
They
yo,
don't
someone's
care.
like, yo, you do new. Like, I got almost a million
Yeah,
subs
I got
on YouTube. They're
500K
like, oh, okay,
subs.
that's nice.
No. My parents would type like, I'm like, yeah, I just got 500K subs. I made 20, 30K this month. They're like, cool. Like, did you finish your education?
That's
Like
dope, man. That's
they're like, we
crazy.
don't care. Like,
That's crazy.
I
Yeah.
tell my parents, like, yeah, I made 200K this year. They're like, cool, we don't care. Like, like they don't
That
be
is
phased by that at
so
all.
funny.
They don't be
That's funny,
phased.
man. That's funny. That's dope, man. That's dope. So speaking of
Yeah.
that, let's talk about
Yeah.
this because not only are
Yeah.
I'm an alum of AIM, but everyone know
Mhm.
I'm from Fayetteville, but I currently live in Raleigh. You're from Raleigh,
Mhm.
so like let's
Yeah,
talk
I'm from
about
Raleigh,
that.
born and
Like,
raised in Raleigh.
so you're born and raised in Raleigh. Um,
Yep, grew up in Raleigh.
how let's talk about this because I always like to know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sports. Growing up, was you big into sports? Did you play
Mhm.
sports? Were you an
So I
athlete?
played basketball. I played basketball when I was younger. Also in high school, I played baseball. I played baseball at U. I used to play center field. Where'd you play?
Yeah, I played center
Where'd you
field.
play? You play center field
Played
too?
center field. Yeah, I played center field. I
Oh,
played center field
yeah.
for
So
in
I used to
college
be a
and when I
big.
played professionally. Yep.
I used to be like a baseball guy. Basketball. I would play like just kind of for fun. I didn't really. I played like through like middle school, but I didn't really play like organized too high. But yeah,
Mhm.
baseball was my sport. But I always tell people like I can play baseball. I won't be watching baseball like
Ah,
that.
see,
So
I'm different, man. I play it, but I can
yeah,
still watch it. Like right now, got
yeah,
the MLB playoffs going on. I'm watching all the games.
yep. Oh, you be
And I know,
deep
like,
into it.
baseball is slow
October.
paced. Yeah, of course.
Did you know
I'm
about
all
Mr.
into it.
October? You know about Mr.
Yeah, of
October
course,
or
Mr.
no?
Come on, I know about Mr. October and Mr. November, man. Come on now. Mr. November. I listen, you gotta think about it. Like my first 2 years of playing ball was in the Yankees organization. So you know who Mr.
Mm.
October and Mr. November is, you know what I'm saying? Reggie Jackson and Derek Jeter, baby. but but yeah, so that's dope. So you did play sports, you was into that. And
Yeah.
at what point in
I would
time
play a lot of
did
sports when I was younger. Like I used to play
okay.
soccer a little bit.
Mm.
I used to play football a little bit when I was fun, like Pee Wee. But yeah, here you go.
Yeah, so it's safe to say then that you were involved in sports growing up, just like any American
Yep,
kid. You're growing up, you're playing
yep,
sports, you're into sports, and of course,
yep.
by association, video games are going to come into play at one point in time. What was your first console?
Yeah, I actually had a lot of consoles I want to talk about because my gaming experience is pretty unique, and I tell people this, and they're
Let's talk
shocked.
about it.
I have never played COD in my life. I've never played GTA. I've never played Fortnite. And people think I'm lying.
Wow.
I'm not lying. So I grew up, and I'm gonna tell you like the background. I grew up first console. I think I had a Nintendo 64, but I didn't use it. Like I was too young, but I had a Nintendo 64. PS2, PS3 is when I started playing. But when I was younger, I started playing when I was younger. I never played online at all until I was in high school, and that's kind of when I kind of started the YouTube stuff. What I did was would just play. I played sports game. I only had sports game. I wasn't allowed to get many of the fighting games like when I was younger. So that's part of the reason why I didn't really get into them. I wasn't allowed to get too many fighting games. I played strict sports games. So I would collect every sports game. I had every Madden, every 2K, every MLB The Show. Um, and I had NBA Live back in the day before. NBA Live used to be
Oh yeah.
popping. Now 2K took over,
Not used
but
to it
back in
was,
the day,
period.
Yeah, back in the day, NBA Live used to have a good product. So
Hmm.
I would just play strictly sports games. And one day I got online. I think I got it for college football. I used to get probably college football too back in the day. Not the new college
Yep.
football, but the old college football. And
Yep.
I just wanted to play quick match online. I just kind of got addicted to playing online. But I got into it late. Like I always tell people like what he asked me like, why don't you play other games? And I'm like, it's because like I'm really not like a gamer like that in the sense that like I play all these games. I'm a sports gamer. I play sports games. I like 2K. I like Madden. I don't really have an interest in playing a lot of these other games. So like this new game came out and it's just like that's not my type of game, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had a kind
You
of
strictly.
different gaming experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You strictly sports. That's dope. You know the funny thing is, I was the
Yep.
same way too. I didn't have the like. I think most parents are like that. But when I
Yep.
first started playing, obviously I predate you by a lot, my boy. So in the early '90s, the late '80s, early '90s, when games first came out, there was no like rated, mature, and all that type stuff. So it was a free for all, man. I remember games I had, man. It was crazy. Some of the games that I had growing up, and my mom quickly nipped that in the butt. So very,
Yep.
very restricted also on what type of games I could have played, stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so I definitely can relate. And I think a lot of kids are like that too. Because even with my kids, like my son right now, he's a huge gamer. Now he does play Fortnite, but I don't let him
Yep.
play anything gory, crazy, scary. He's never playing GTA until until he's like in high school and that type of deal. It's like he asks all the time, "Can I play GTA?" And I'm like, "No, definitely not playing GTA. This is something that you do not need to be. You do not need to know anything about what's going on
see,
in GTA."
see, Fortnite, I was older. It was just like I never got into FPS games, so I was like, I'm not really
Yeah,
gonna start now. Like that was more of a personal choice. It wasn't like my parents didn't let me get
yeah,
Fortnite. It's just like I never got
yeah,
into it.
exactly.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. So then when you first started getting online and what how did that whole online experience, so first like the 2K online experience, when did you start? Like were you just a play now 2K guy?
So
And then when did you roll
yeah, I was
into
just
being a park player?
yeah. So I was a big My GM guy. That was my game. I got
Ooh.
2K15. Then I got it from my GM. I was like, I want to be a GM. Like, I like the strategy type game. So let me try to
Yeah.
trade the players. Let me try to build a championship roster. I still play for fun sometimes, but I can't really make videos on it because I just like to just play. Like, I don't want to commentate
Yeah.
and all that. But
Exactly.
I love my GM and I got it. I was like, this is so cool. It's my GM mode. And I got on it and I went to park. I had friends that played 2K, but they play like my team. And I went to park and I
Mhm.
just started playing with randoms. And this is what I love about the park mode. And it was just fun. I met new people. I met friends there and I met a group of friends that were pretty much high roller players. Do you know what high rollers is?
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Demi?
In state,
So it was like
right?
stage, but it was stage
Yeah.
for like 10K plus courts only. So they had a
Hmm.
10K, 20K. I think even time they had a 50K VC court, which
Yep,
is
they did.
crazy. You lose one game, people were mad over that. But
Facts.
um, yeah, so in the high rollers, I started playing with them, and they kind of got me into the competitive part of it. And 2K15, I hit Legend 3, which was the highest. And I don't know if you know this, Demi, but this is a record. I'm actually the person who hit Legend the most times ever in 2K.
Really?
7 times. 7 times. I hit in
Dang.
2K15, Legend 3, 2K16, Legend 5. I came back 17, 18. I kind of took off. I was burnt out. 2K19, 99 overall. 2K20, Legend. 2K21, current gen, Legend. 2K21, next gen, Legend. 2K22, current gen, Legend. 2K22, next gen, Legend. So nobody's done it more
Damn.
times than me. But
Damn.
but yeah, so
And you were
I
doing this while
I
you were in school. That's another thing. You were in
yeah,
school
that's what people
in
understand. I
high
tell
school
people
and
it's
then now
crazy. People,
college.
it's crazy. People, yeah, I was telling people I hit Legend 5 in high school, and I did not skip a day. I had perfect attendance. I got an award for perfect attendance. I can show you. I went to school every single day, came back, and it was still Legend 5. And the only reason people beat me was because they were skipping the whole day. I'd be checking in school. I'm like, man, he only got 50 games in. Like,
Yeah. So what time would you go to bed, bro? Like how many hours from school, like when you got home from school
so,
around 3 o'clock, how many when would you play till?
yeah. So you got to understand. This part of the reason I stopped sports. But I was in AP class at the same time, so I had kind of balance my stuff and everything. I had to do my schoolwork, but also I got to grind for Legend 5, so I had a quota limit. It was like we're gonna get 50 games in every day. So I get home. I think we got out like 205, 210. It was years ago, so I don't remember exact. But I'd get back maybe 230, 240, and I'd play probably for 4 or 5 hours straight, 7, 8. And then after that, I'd go and do my homework and finish that and get it ready for the next day. And sometime in high school, you can kind of, it's not that hard. You can go do your homework.
Yeah.
Like I'd save like fourth period, fifth period, I'm doing it in first and second period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'd balance all that type of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? While I'm grinding for Legend 5, I'm out here taking an AP calculus. So it's like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
always tell people, like, you know what I mean? You can balance your stuff if you really need to. And I think a lot of people, you don't have to give up other parts of your life. And I don't think you should, because I was guilty of that for a little bit too. You shouldn't neglect other parts of your life because you want to be top rep. That's why I tell people I would never, I've been top rep in Legend. I don't think I could be first top rep because that's a different type of grind that
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for, you know.
Yeah. I've been seeing God, what's man? Cat is it Cash Out? What's his name? Is it Cash Out?
Cash out. I'm actually friends with Cash out. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know Cash out. Yep.
Okay, Cash Out and Enzo. They
Enzo.
I
Yep.
you know it's funny that I
Yo,
say that, man.
they
Like,
actually
go ahead.
they hit me up and I'm like, so they had got there and Enzo showed up. He FaceTimed me. He was like, yo, look, he had a whole like poster was like, welcome Enzo. Like they set up at like each other's houses and they're doing like a joint rep grind. And like, it's actually crazy.
That is crazy,
But
man. I you know, I love the way. First of all, I don't know if Cash it's Cash Out, right? I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Right? It's
yeah,
Cash
it's
Out,
Cash
right?
out.
Okay, so I don't know if
Ethan,
Cash
that's his
Out.
name.
Okay, if he's actually trolling when he's putting the food that he's eating every day
He's
on
trolling. He's trolling.
Twitter.
He's trolling. He's trolling.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I
Yeah,
used to
he's
be
trolling.
like, yo, I used to be like, there's no way in hell this dude is eating this every day, man. He'll show a picture of his game room, like, yo, this shit is it's an absolute dump. I'm like, this shit is. But see, I think as the older I get, I have a hard time deciphering what's trolling and what's actually real.
And
Like, you
what's
know, what I mean?
real, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, is this real? Is he really eating this every day, or is this is like something else, man? But I will tell him this is that he has been really good at entertaining, and now he does stream. But I think I'll ask this. I'll go on a quick little tangent. We'll come back. But
Yeah,
you've been doing Legend. You said he hit it 7 times. Legend used to
yeah.
be such a big thing, but I feel like Legend right now, hitting Legend, being the first Legend, is not as much hype surrounded around it. I want to know, do you think that's true? And if so, why?
I think it's partly true, but I think it's not completely true, and I'll say
Mhm.
why. It's partly true because some of the rep systems, 2K22, that's terrible. You can't really do anything off that. Even 23
Yeah.
was sketchy. I think this year and last year is getting a little bit better, but I also think it's about how you market yourself. And this is something like I really worked people with in order to DF because not only was I a 7-time legend myself, when CHOC hit Legend, he was in my
Mhm.
clan, and yeah, I hit Legend with him. And so I've talked with a lot of people about this is what you need to be doing as a top rep to get the views. It's not instant. Some people are doing all this grinding, but they're not putting out the content. They're not streaming. They're not making videos. And so essentially they're doing all of this for nothing. And then we've had a lot of top reps
Mhm.
that just aren't very good at marketing. I've been trying, like I talk to Cash Out sometimes like, bro, you're doing such a good job now posting videos. You gotta be putting out videos. But I feel like a lot of people, and I get it because it's draining being top rep, but you gotta get an editor or something. You can't just be streaming all day, not putting out any YouTube videos, not putting out any TikToks, and expecting to get this high growth. And I've experienced
Yeah.
that because I was 2K21 Next Gen. I think I was the fourth or fifth legend. And I got kind of nervous at first. Like the first legend, they got 6K views. Second legend got 5K views. Third legend got 1K views. I went live, I got 25,000 views for my legend. And that's because the
Mhm.
way I built it up and I marketed it with my brand. And so, legend, if you want to get something out of it, is not just about the grind, it's about the content aspect too. And that's what people, I think, have to put more effort into.
And then, you hit that right on the head, bro. The content aspect is, oh my God, it's so important because once you get in, when I say in, I'm talking about,
Yep.
the algorithm loves you. You got a nice little base. You
Yep.
can do this for the rest of your
Yep.
life. You know what I mean? Like, it's dope
Yep.
to be able to wake up, do video games or whatever it is, and you can make a living off of it. Or you could still live your life, work your job. I know guys, and I'm
Yep.
not saying names, but I know a lot of big ass creators that still have jobs. So they're
Yep.
making like, 20K off their content, and
They
then they're
got
still
side
pulling
money. Yep.
in. Yes, and then they still pulling in they stuff with their 9 to 5 job, right? So like, you're just making, money on top of money. There's so much many avenues you can have, but They always say like if you want to be a real millionaire, you got to have like five revenue streams. And so
Yeah.
sometimes just to be able to have that revenue stream of YouTube, that revenue stream of TikTok, that revenue stream of Twitch, like those are three revenue streams right there that you're able to pull from. And then now that just gives you a jump start. And the only thing you're doing is just waking up every day playing video games. Like that's a dream of all dreams. My major dream was obviously to be a pro athlete. But once that went away, now I wake up every day and I'm just like, dog, there's no way I get paid all this money by these, companies and whatever, to just
Oh,
do video games.
yep. It's crazy because I told you my parents are older. So part of the reason I started out, I didn't tell them. They knew I gamed and everything, but I didn't tell them I was making a YouTube or anything. And I had to tell them because they saw my bank account and they're like, "Yo, are you like a drug dealer? Like, like what is going on here?" And I'm like, "No, no,
Yo,
relax, relax, guys. I'm not a drug
let's
dealer. Like, I'm not doing anything
okay,
for it."
but
They're
you
like,
know
"Where are
what?
y'all? They're
Let's
like, where are
talk
you
about
getting
that,
this
bro.
money?"
Yeah, we gotta talk about it because I know I went on a tangent about that, but you were talking about how you started playing online, you was doing the my NBA.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
Yeah.
the fact of now that you was like, you know what? Let's go to the creation of YouTube. Who inspired you to do YouTube? And then let's talk about the journey of the YouTube channel, like everything, like everything. Your
Yeah.
name, how'd you come up with that? Just take us from that moment when you were like, yo, the moment you was like, you decided to make a YouTube channel and then going forward.
So my gamer tag before kind of YouTube and everything was just Power James 3. Um and then the 3 is just kind of random. Power, I don't even know. I think it was kind of like a created name. James is actually my baptismal name, and that's
Mhm.
why it's I use James in there. But Power James 3 was my tag, and I would always go by James. Like back then, if people know me back then, they don't call me Power, they call me James. They're like, "James, what's up?" But what happened was I created a clan. My first clan was called Got Nets, and James Got Nets was taken. I was like, "Ah, what am I gonna do?" I was like, "I'm gonna just do Power Got Nets," and that's when I hit Legend 5, and the power name just kind of stuck. Um,
Mhm.
so that's where I was going there. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, how did I get started? Who inspired me? Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, and I know a lot of people like have people inspire them. Nobody inspired me. Like I didn't even know that there were YouTubers or 2K YouTubers. I told people I didn't use social media like that. Only YouTube I knew was music videos. And so people were like, "Yo, you can make videos, you can be YouTubers." I was like, "That's a thing?" Like, like
Yeah.
I had no idea there was a thing or a pathway for this. But I would play and I would just be this high rep, and my friend was like, "Yo, you gotta stream, you gotta go live." I'm like, "Why I gotta stream? What is that? I don't really feel like I'd be a streamer." And he's like, "Well, we need games, and streamers get games." So
Mm.
that was the kind of thing behind it. I was like, I don't really know if I really want to do that or anything. I feel like people wouldn't watch me. He's like, okay, this is how it started. He made a bet with me. This is my friend Andrew. He was like, this is the bet. You go live right now. Um, if you get more than 20 viewers in 5 minutes, um, then what's gonna happen is so it was a bet if like basically not me start. So basically, if I go live and get less than 20 minutes and 5 viewers, if I go live and get less than 20 views in 5 minutes, then he was gonna pay me $25. And if I get over 20 viewers in that 5 minutes, then I have to pay him $25. So it was kind of like an opposite bet where basically
Ah,
I was like, I'm gonna do that because that's free money, right? Like we're younger. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, he's gonna give me a free $25 if I go live and get no viewers. So I was
Easy
like, okay,
money.
bet I'll go live. Yeah, easy money. I go live. Dog, I got 50 viewers. I
Dang.
swear to God.
Your
I
first
swear to God. And I
stream?
think it's because yeah, first stream on Twitch. And part of the reason was because I was on the leaderboards. You know how like 2K16 you load up, your
Ah.
name was be there. I'd be on the leaderboards. People would add me on Xbox. And what happened is
Mm.
back in the day, if you streamed off your app, it'd be like, yo, this person's live. You know, it pop up as a little Xbox noti. And people came through like, oh, this is top rapid live. I had 50 viewers
That's
instantly. I was like,
dope.
this is kind of fun. Like
Yeah.
I was like, this is kind of fun. I
So
guess
hold up. You streamed
this is
on
fun.
Twitch first.
Yeah, yeah. So I started Twitch before YouTube. YouTube's a different story. I gotta get into that. But Twitch, I started on
Oh
Twitch
shit.
first. I got partnered in a month. I got partnered in 2016, Demi.
Yeah.
So long, long time ago, I started on Twitch and I was a streamer, and I really had no chance of doing. no kind of plans of doing YouTube. I literally was a streamer, and that's how I
Yeah.
originally started. I got pretty quickly. We'd host our tryouts, and after like a month or two, I would average like 100, 200 viewers. And then I hit my Legend 5 stream, which was huge, and I got 3K viewers. And that's how I got partnered in P. You know what I mean? I
Dang.
applied at the right time. I applied right before my Legend 5 stream, and
Wow.
it made my averages look like it was better than what it
Yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. Hold up. So you're saying that it actually rolled right in perfectly for you. So your friend made the bet while you was on the leaderboards anyway. So you was
Yes.
actually marketing yourself, or 2K was
I didn't know it though.
marketing you by people knowing that you was on leaderboard. And
Yep.
Xbox, which I don't have Xbox, but that's dope as shit. I wish they had that on PlayStation. That people,
It's
because see, on
so cool.
PlayStation, if I was to go live, they're not notifying my friends on or followers on PlayStation. But on
So
Xbox, they
here's
do
the
that.
thing on
That is dope.
PlayStation. On PlayStation, I think you have to add people back. On Xbox, it's not like that. Anybody can add you. So I don't. They don't have to be my friend, but I can be their friend.
Wow.
So
Wow, that's
all
even
those
dope.
people that
Yeah.
would just add me. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then you dang on right. So you started off on fire, bro. So you started off literally out the gate on fire because of the genius of 2K leaderboards, Xbox allowing followers to get notifications when you go live. So now all those people that were seeing you on the leaderboards, trying to hit top rep, were adding you on Xbox. And then when you went
Yep.
live on Twitch, they all just stormed right in there because like, yo, this is one of the guys on leaderboards. And then boom, you already had a base off rip. You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly. And a similar thing happened with YouTube. So I was the number 2 rep. Number 1 rep was a guy called, I think he's still around, King Sosa Guap. Are you familiar with him?
Yep, he is. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
he was,
yeah. I saw him a
yeah,
couple years ago on
he
Community
was
Day.
he was the number 1 rep at the time. We did a little. I was pulling up on him. I was like number 2, number 1. This would be kind of fun for the stream. And basically what happened is we put up and they were like, let's do a 1v1 instead. This has happened. This is the first video on my YouTube channel. So let's do a 1v1 instead. So
Mhm.
everybody cleared out his, it was on the 2v2 court, but his teammate would stand behind, my teammate would stand behind. And basically it was close. And then his teammate just came out of nowhere and ripped me with the ball. And it's a 1v1. I'm like, yo, that's cheating. That's cheating. So I
Yeah.
told my teammate, yo, we gotta double team them back and so we can get the ball back because it's supposed to be my ball. And people got confused in the middle of everything, and people were like, "Yo, you cheated," and I ended up winning. And so I was like, people were calling me a cheater. I'm like, I didn't cheat. So I was like, I'm gonna upload the video to show the evidence from my past broadcasts of the proof that I'm not a cheater. Like you can see that he stole the ball from me, and it should have been my ball.
Mhm.
And so I was just uploading this. I made a YouTube channel that night. Didn't have a YouTube before. Made a YouTube channel that night to upload this video, and bro, it exploded. Like 40,000 views, 1K subs in a week out of nowhere on a brand new YouTube channel. And I was like,
Mm.
man, maybe I'm kind of good at this. Maybe I need to keep doing this.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
crazy because I tell people the video was not good. It was from my past broadcast. I was nervous playing at the start of this. And you can see it. If you go back to my channel, my first ever video, Demi, the first 4 minutes of the gameplay, I did not talk. I didn't say one word because I was just nervous. I was locked in. I was trying to win. And then I
Yeah.
started talking and get excited. And a video like that blew up and now has 100, 150K views. And it's like,
Yeah.
it feels like, I don't know, this is like, it feels like it was a miracle. Like, I don't know. Like, it
Yeah.
feels like, how does stuff like this happen?
Nah, man. I mean, just the crazy thing is, that's your story. You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful because wow, like a lot of things which to this day and age, it makes sense how it can work. But back then, it's you came at the right time because like e-gaming wasn't a
Yep,
thing. It's was
yep,
right now it's extremely hard to crack to be a YouTuber or a big Twitch streamer.
it is.
It's extremely hard. It doesn't mean it's not possible. And that's why I always tell people all the time, is that, when I was growing up, I knew I wanted to play pro ball. I knew it was very hard to do, but I did it. You know what I mean? Because I always look at it like, when I was growing up, King Griffey Jr. was my favorite player. I was like, King Griffey Jr. could do it. I can do it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah.
now, you have generation of kids that are watching Power, that are watching Uncle Demi or whatever, and they're like, yo, if they can do it, then I can do it. Even though it's hard as hell, right? To break in and be able to get in there. But you was able to do that. And back then, there wasn't even resources. So it was still even hard to do it. It wasn't like, there was marketing able to do that.
I
It was just
uploaded off
perfect.
So when I streamed on Twitch starting out, I tell people, and I streamed off my Xbox. I didn't have an Elgato. I didn't have any
Mm-hmm.
equipment, and because I didn't even tell my parents about that, I had to earn money through this to be able to pay. My parents didn't buy me a PC, none of that. I started out on Twitch streaming off the Xbox app. I made YouTube videos off something called Upload Studio. I take the clips, take it over there, just voice record over them, and that's how I would be make videos until I had 20K subs. And then I took the
Mm-hmm.
money from YouTube and Twitch, and I'm like, okay, this is where I bought a mic, bought an Elgato, and I messed up several times. I bought a laptop, and I didn't understand specs and PC stuff, so I bought a whole laptop, and it couldn't even run the Elgato. I was like, man, I just wasted
Yeah.
like $500 on something that not
Yeah.
even work. And so I kind of had to figure it out and learn through trial and error, you know. But I
How old
always
were you
tell
at the
people, I
time?
think a lot of people. This is when I was like 15, 16,
Damn,
14. Yeah.
15, man.
So
Oh
I
my.
started really.
Where you
I
at
got
15 making
partnered
that
when I was
bread,
young.
bro? Yeah,
Yeah. So
15 making money like that. You couldn't even drive, man.
so
You got 20 you got 20 bands in the bank.
And so I
That's
tell
crazy.
people like I feel like a lot of people they overthink content, and they're like, okay, what setup do I need? What do I need to make the videos? How should I edit the videos? And I think that stuff is good, but I think the most
Mhm.
important thing you can do when you're thinking about content, being a content creator, is you got to get started. You got to just do it. And I'm not saying you look at my first video, go look at my channel. It's not the best video. And
Yeah.
you're not going to be perfect right away, but you need to get in the process of starting because that's how you learn and that's how you get better. If you sit here all day thinking about how to make the perfect video, then you'll never get in the process of actually improving and making your video. So
Yep.
just get started. I started with nothing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So then once that video took off and started blowing up,
Yeah.
and you were still called Power Gotten X, and that
Yep.
was 2K15 that this is all happening, correct,
2K16.
right?
This
2K16,
16. 2K15.
all right?
Yep.
So now you got your YouTube going. You upload that. Your thought was then to be like, okay, cool, let me continue to drop content on here. And then were you, I mean, I don't think multi-stream
Yeah.
was a thing back there. So were you still
So
streaming on Twitch? Like, how did that work?
yeah, so I would still stream on Twitch. But I would also kind of like I didn't really understand YouTube, and this is why I didn't start YouTube because I think a lot of people have this problem. Like I don't know what to post. like what do people post? Like how do you come up with video ideas? So here's what I did. I had hit Legend 5 before. So I went and found my old Legend 5 stream. And that's what I posted as my second video. Now keep in mind I had posted Legend 5, like I had hit Legend 5 like a month on Twitch already before this. But I went back and found the old Legend 5 video and I posted it as on my YouTube. And that blew up
Mhm.
even more and got like 150,000, 200,000 views. And that's how I got like 2 or 3K subs. By the end of the month, I had 3K subs on YouTube. Kind of started. So, but
Yeah.
I kind of had to figure it out. Like I didn't know. A lot of my videos were more natural back then. Like I just go on there, have some gameplay in the background, talk about whatever I want. They'd be based around my clans, and that's why I think because I had a lot of clans. People know about DF, but what you don't know, Demi, is I was the founder of really successful clans back then. I had gotten that. So I had Teen F, which is famous for the Nayas clip when he kicks everybody from the clan. That was my clan. We have Art. We have RG,
Hold on,
which
who
was
was
another
that again?
clan.
You said
We have
what? You said what? What was the clan?
T
Go back. You said
T
who?
TNF.
TNF. And what does that stand for?
Yeah, the nation's finest. Team B's low key a ripoff of that clan, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh.
But yeah, a
Okay, and
lot of
who
people were in
okay.
that clan. So like
Who was it?
I started a clan with Ayo and Rio, who you probably don't know, but they were in Soul Illuminati clan Illuminati, and they kind of taught me the ropes and got me into YouTube.
Okay.
But also Nadex was in that clan. Easy Breezy, if you don't know who that is, was in that clan.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Yeah, I remember him.
Peter MC. Do you know Peter MC? Peter
Yep.
MC was in that
Yep.
clan. I recruited him. So there was a lot of kind of YouTubers
And this was
back
the
in that
nation's
clan.
finest, TNF.
Yeah, yeah, TNF.
That's so funny, man. I would never have known. So Nadex was actually a recruit for you in the nation's finest. That's what's
Yep,
up.
yep,
And
yep.
Peter,
He
'cause
was.
Peter's pretty big. Now I know Breezy's no
Yep, yep,
longer in the community, kind of doing his own thing, but
yep.
yeah, okay, cool. So you started with some heavy hitters, so you can, you kind of have a nice little family tree of people you birth, right? Is that kind of how it is,
Yeah, I be thinking about my you when we talk about coaching trees. The Power
Yeah.
DF coaching tree is looking nice. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just starting off the TNF, we ain't got to the DF stuff yet, but
Yep, and
so
the
okay, cool. So
HGs.
you had
Yep.
that clan. All right, go ahead. Okay, my bad. I didn't even cut you out, but I just want to make sure I heard that
Yeah,
right.
so TNF, it was kind of started off as kind of like a stage clan, and to go through it really quick, like it kind of got ruined because this is when I got the idea and I started the idea in the community where back then clans were just kind of like skill clans. You have good people, you put in your clan. And I was like, I want a different type of clans. I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna just scout and recruit all content creators for a clan. And that's gonna be like a really cool idea. And I started the idea even where we're gonna put our roster on a Google Doc. I made that. Like I was like, we're gonna have a Twitter for our stuff. So we I ended up recruiting Nate because I was just like, yo, he's a big content creator. Let's pick him up. And he kind of ruined the clan with the whole kicking thing. And it kind of ruined the chemistry. And
What?
that's where I learned my lesson
What
where,
happened?
okay, you can like we picked him up and he was like, yo, I don't want to be in a clan with people who suck. You know what I mean? And so we had people that maybe were good content creators, but maybe they didn't have the highest win percentage. And he was like, just get them all out of the clan. And then he kicked it down. We only have 5 people in the clan.
Well,
So
how is it your clan, but he was able to kick people out?
because I kind of that's the problem. I kind of gave him permission for it because he was such a big content creator, and I wanted to retain the big content creator, and that was kind of a mistake. That's
Oh,
part of the
okay.
learning process I went through the clan. So when it was like, okay, I wanted to keep this big content creator, and then I compromised everything else that made the clan great, and that's part of my learning process
Mm,
where it's like sometimes people may have big fan base or big good content creators, but they're not good for the clan or the good clan
yeah.
members. So that's how
That's just
TNF
for
kind of
sports,
ended.
period. That's for sports, in general, in
Yep.
real life. So yeah.
So we gotta talk about that later. I'm a big clan guy. I know you talked on your podcast a
I
lot. A lot of people don't like clans. I like clans, and I'm not saying
I
they're
don't
not for
like
everybody,
clans.
but I can tell you why I like clans,
Yeah, well, just let's talk
um,
about it. Well, why do you like clans?
um, it comes down to I think people overcomplicate clans, and I get why some people have this negative perception of them because a lot of weird stuff goes on in clans, sometimes, and there's a lot of bad clans. And I think
Mhm.
clans remind me of like that sports team feel where you go in there and this companionship and you're grinding for this goal and you're trying to achieve this one thing together. And I think what in a
Yeah.
clan does is magnifies things. So you're in a bad clan, it's gonna drag you down and make you worse. If you're in a good
Mhm.
clan, it's gonna elevate you. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people they've just been in bad clans and they think all clans are like that. And
Yeah.
if you get in a clan of really good special people that have um that are hardworking, that have goals and dreams, it's gonna make you start thinking. And I've seen this for myself. Man, maybe I should be pushing myself to do more. Maybe
Yeah.
I have this idea. They're doing this. Maybe I should do that too. And I became
Mhm.
such more of a better content creator because of the people that I was surrounded by in my clans, and that's
Okay.
why I love them.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah,
Like I said, I just feel like most of the clans, again, you say great clans, the most of the clans in the 2K community, um,
yeah,
they're not like 100 Thieves, they're not like,
I agree. Yeah,
all these e-leagues, so to me, I feel like the clans, there is benefits, and we'll talk about that right after I say this. An individual can grow, right? If you're in a clan and you get associated with that clan, that can help grow your social media, your Twitch, and that type of stuff. But to me, I feel like the volatility of the clans, because I can name, since I've came into to community, and I came to community in 2K20. So
yep,
you're just talking what, 5 years, man. I done seen like so many clans come and go. I done seen so much drama in clans that I mean, even from because I felt like God Almighty, annoying TV. He had a real good
yep.
clan, Hun Nation, right? And
Nation.
then
Yep, I
like
watched this video on it.
yeah, and you don't see any of them. You don't see anything about it no more about Hun Nation.
Yep,
I can name so many, man. Like the Too Wavy. We talked about TMB. You got my man. What's the guy name? I know clan.
that's I know with Bandit.
I
Yep,
mean, yeah, but they sizzle for a while, and then something happens, people, and then you don't hear about them no more. So leading into that, let's talk about, you do have the DF. So I know you were going down a list. You
yep,
had like, you was talking about TNF. Um,
yep.
let's get to the DNF. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, DF.
Yep.
You know, and
Yeah.
then what
Yeah.
brought what brought DF, and what was the previous clan you had and went to DF? Like, how did that work?
So my previous clan was a clan called HG. It was actually really big. Hank was in it. Hank was
What's
in
HG
HG.
stand for?
Honor greatness.
Honor greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Powerful.
These
You just
days
keep it short.
we
Hey, you
ran
keep
out of
it short
names
and
because
sweet, right?
before then it was RG, respect greatness. And I was like, I don't really know. We're just gonna change the letter. So,
Honor greatness.
so
And then who was
yeah.
that? Who was in that clan? So who was in that clan? You said
Yeah.
that you had Hank in that clan.
Yeah, we had Hank in that clan. We had Agler. I don't know if you know who Agler is.
No.
Um, we had I don't know. We had to expose them and get them my level, who were both 2K League players now. We had Vandy, who
Mm,
was my duo at the time. He's a 2K League guy too. So we had a lot of guys. I had
mm.
my boy by any means Mo. We had a lot of. It was kind of curious, but it's also comp based too. So we had a lot of
Yeah.
really guys that ended up going to the 2K League. We even had like Fab in there. A lot of current. We had Colt.
Yeah.
Worthen Colt. We had him in there.
Okay.
It was a lot of
And what
pro
year
am
was this?
guys. This was 2K17 and 18.
Okay. Okay.
So this is before the 2K League officially started, kind of.
Hmm.
So we had a lot of guys. Toxic was actually in there for a little bit. I don't know if you know Toxic, Eyeball Toxic,
Oh yeah, duh. And I
but he was
forgot
in there.
Toxic got his clan. I forgot. What's Toxic clan again?
Eyeball,
Eyeball. Duh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Eyeball.
what
My bad.
happened there is it was kind of like you said, it fizzled. It was popping for a little bit. My issue with clans at the start was they be popping for a year, but then the next year everything changes. Like some people aren't active in the new 2K, or they don't play the same and they don't want to play with people anymore. And it's like it was hard to keep a clan going for more than like a year. But
Hmm.
it became this thing where it was just like it was so many people in there and they were all talented and good at what they did, but they had different goals than I did. Like we had a lot of pro players who wanted to make the league. We had a lot of comp stage players, and I was like, I need an environment of people who really have the same goals and drives that I do, and like I want to be a big in content. I want to make this huge thing. And
Yeah.
so DF was this idea where we're gonna make a clan that it doesn't matter how clouded or known you are in the community. It doesn't matter how good you are at the game. It doesn't matter about any of that. All we care about is, do you have the drive? Do you have the passions? Do you have the goals? Do you, and that's where we got the name Dedicated Forever. Like, are you dedicated forever? And
Yeah.
and, and that's that was really the founding of it, where it was like it was just this chill thing where it's like we're gonna get a bunch of people that really are about doing this and put them together.
Hmm. Okay. So who
So
was some of the first people you got
yeah.
in power in DF?
Yeah, so the original people were my boy Cyclo. And then we also had Easy Breezy and Wade, who's now known as Chad, if you know Chad. So those were the three founder members. That's what a lot of people don't know about DF. Like a lot of people know of being in DF. They were not there at the start. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
added them kind of later. And
Okay.
then Bandit was one of our first recruits too.
Okay. Damn. So
Yeah.
you just be having all the like. So you're right. You be getting your power DF tree, bro, is crazy. So that's crazy, man. Like you really are, really are. You're like the Phil Jackson, man. You got all the great coaches in your staff, bro. So
Yeah.
you had when did your lieutenant, second lieutenant, grinding? Like when did he come into play?
So he joined probably like 2 weeks or a month after. When I made DF, I made a video like my new clan DF. And me and Grant, I knew Grandin before DF, but we had just kind of like we made videos together, like another creator you collab with in community. And Grandin had his own clan at the time, it was called Simply. And
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
was, I don't know, he was kind of nervous. He didn't want to hit us up like directly, but he knew Bandit, so he had Bandit like, yo, could you get me in DF? And then he passed on along the message, and we were like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, because I had always been a big fan of Grindin's content, because I feel like his content's just like really creative in the stuff that he did and his editing and his post com. I was like, yo,
nah,
that's
bro,
a really
yeah.
good guy for
He's next
for
level.
DF. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he wants to join. I'm down. So he must have seen my video. Like, I want to be a part of something like this. And so we had added him back in 2K18. But keep in mind, like nobody was big at the time. I had 100K in 2K18, but my channel was not popping like that, especially because 2K18 was, you know, what 2K18 was like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like the views were not popping. So I might have had
Nah.
100K, but my views weren't pulling like that. And Grinding, I think maybe had like 8 or 9K or something like that. So we were smaller in there, and that's when he's born, probably a month after the founding.
Okay. And so basically with DF, you were adding members as they came along. And I guess we can
Yeah,
fast forward to like 2K20. And
yeah,
during that 2 year period, man,
yeah,
the DF became like an absolute juggernaut. Now, me
yeah,
being the old head I am, I don't, I didn't come into 2K20. I
yeah.
heard of DF because of CHOC. And it was
Oh,
very
yep,
unique
shock.
because, yeah, because CHOC in the middle of his legend grind joined DF. So it wasn't
Yep,
like he actually needed DF to be the party clan for the clout and shit, because
yeah,
everybody and their
yep.
mama knew about it. Like he hit his legend grind was so big because this was during the pandemic phase. You know what I'm saying? Like this is when
Wait, this was before
everybody was
pandemic,
locked.
actually.
The
This was before pandemic,
2K20.
because pandemic,
No, he was
yeah, pandemic didn't
2K19.
happen
Which
until
one was
March.
he?
No, no,
Oh,
this
to
was
March.
2K20, but
Okay,
pandemic didn't hit until March. So
until
he
March.
hit
Correct.
Legend in January and February. Yeah,
And yeah, you're right. Right on the fringe of it. And during that
yep,
time frame, he didn't need it. But I remember vividly watching I don't know if it was a video, a stream, or whatever it was, and he was like he joined DF. And I was like, why he
yes.
joined DF for? He don't need it. So then my homie was like, no, he probably just cool with them. He was just probably wants to rock with them. I said, yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? So tell me the
It's
backstory of
true.
CHOC joining, because why would to me, I'm like, yo, all the eyes on you anyway. So you don't need a
Hmm.
clan. But more, I'm coming from the point of I don't like clans. So, but so
Yeah.
maybe my vision is a little blurred. But explain to me the backstory behind the scenes of CHOC. Did CHOC reach out to you? Did y'all reach out to him? Like how did
So
how did the top
Chuck,
rep in the world join DF in the middle of his grind?
so Chuck had wanted to join before that year even started. He had joined.
Okay.
He had hit us up in 2K19, like, yo, I want to join the clan. And we were talking to him. We had hung out with him and been friends with him. So he had been wanting to join. But if you don't know anything about the DF selective process, it's very like we don't be letting anybody in. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we
yeah, 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 yeah.
we really try to. Our whole goal is like a lot of clans set up and fail because they let people in and then they figure out who the person is. So we want to get to know you as a person before we add you to make sure not only you're a good content creator, but you're a good fit. And so
Mhm.
it was kind of already in the process. And then it just happened. We didn't know he was going to be top rep. It just happened that
Yeah.
he did become a top rep and we had added him at that point. But he had been wanting to join and we had been talking to him and considering that before because Chalk was known for pro-am at the time and he was known in the community. We and him used to play a lot. Like we don't really talk now, but me and Chalk actually used to be like best friends and making a lot of videos
Okay.
together. Like I don't know, we had
Yeah, yeah, I
beef
did.
about how he left the F and everything, but we used to be like talking till 5 a.m. in parties about like life and
Yeah.
everything. Like me and Chalk used to be really close.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what got me too, because like literally as soon as he joined, he left just as quickly as he joined. Like what was that whole like listen, I've heard so many stories about that.
Yeah,
Um so sometimes it's better
yeah.
just to hear your
So
version of it. So what
so
how was it how did it collapse so quickly?
so it wasn't too quickly. It was like 4 months, 4 or 5 months, which for
That's
clans,
quick as
that's a
hell,
long
me.
time.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Nah, you don't get
It's like
people like if
four.
you get 6 months from somebody, praise the Lord. Like
Oh, okay, okay, cool,
um
okay. So 4 months is a
clans are
while.
very
Okay, for
fast
me, I'm like,
changing.
damn, he just joined.
But it wasn't direct conflict. It was kind of like we got rules in DF. He had a conflict because somebody left the clan and he must have made a comment about them, and leaked somebody leaked what he said in the chat to the timeline. And he was like,
Mm.
bro, I think it's this guy. And he was like, fuck, I don't trust these guys anymore. They're weird. Like, and me and him were cool and stuff. But he was like, I don't trust these guys. I don't want to be in this group chat. Like, I'll be in DF if you want me to. But I'm not being in this group chat. And I was like, man, that's not the way we operate. You got to be in the group chat if you want to be in the clan. And so if you
Mm.
gonna leave the group chat, then you can't be in the clan. you got to leave the clan too. And so that's basically what happened, where it's like
They
he didn't
leaked
want to be in the group
information
chat.
about somebody, about him?
Basically, no, they didn't leak information. Basically, he made a comment like somebody left, and he was like something. I don't remember the exact thing, but it was something along the lines like, "Yeah, good that should have left. Nobody cares," something like that.
Oh, so someone
Somebody.
left and then he belittled them while they left, and then that got put on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, "That's
Okay,
kind of weird
okay,
because they leaked the
okay.
private conversation." I get his point of view because it's like people shouldn't be
Yeah,
leaking that. But at the same time, we
private
were
information. Yeah.
investigating and we didn't know exactly who it is, and you kind of got to
Mm,
understand like if you're in a big group chat like that, you can't be saying certain stuff. You know, just because
exactly.
so
No, no,
it's gonna
correct,
get out.
correct, correct. So
Um,
then,
so and I didn't feel
yeah,
like
go
it
ahead,
was
no,
a
go ahead,
big
go ahead.
deal because it's like who cares if he said that? But anyway, so he basically had ended up leaving because of that. And but we didn't have beef. We were cool. I think a lot of things happened too because we had gotten a house offer from the Magic. We had gotten an offer to overtime, and that's another long story. But uh, I think what had happened is when you leave the F, and essentially it's a big thing. People just constantly ask you like, "Why'd you leave? Why'd you leave?
Yeah,
Why'd you leave?" And he didn't really want to get into it, and I think he kind of started like feeling the need to justify it. And sometimes like he would say comments about DF or say personal things that happen and be out of context, and then
yeah.
we feel a need to respond and defend ourselves like, no, that's not
Nah,
how it
yeah, it was
was.
actually back.
And
Yeah, it was a back and
and
forth. Yep, it
yeah, and it
was.
was kind of tension. And then he tried to take
Hmm.
down DF by making his clan AE.
Yeah, I remember that. And then like anybody can join. Or you can put your A, you can put your
Yeah,
just put
yeah,
the initials
yeah.
in.
He made it was that was a diss at us. I don't know if you noticed, but it was like, why
Oh,
grind for a clan when you can grind in a clan? And the whole thing was DF is that clan everybody's
oh,
grinding for. So AE
ah,
was a diss at DF, was being like, we're not gonna make you try to hard to join. We just gonna let you in.
yeah. I remember that because wasn't Bronny a part of that somehow?
Yeah, so Bronny, Aiden, Cheezer was a part of that. That's another story too. Aiden had hit me up in 19 to ask to join DF too.
Okay, shoot, talk about that. Well, hold on. Let's hold that thought. Did you say that
Yeah.
overtime hit you up to
Yeah.
do a gaming house?
So we were
Oh,
supposed to be me and Grindin. We're not all of DF. Me and Grindin were invited to be in the house where Codeman, Hollywood, all of them when they went overtime. Hank the Tank, and they were going to pay us a salary and put us in the house. But we actually declined. I don't know if I'm like supposed to talk about this, but we actually declined because we would have to give up DF and abandon the people in DF, and we really believed in like what we were doing and what we were building, and we didn't really know if we wanted to move out there to the house, so we decided not to join the overtime thing and keep DF going. But yeah, we had an offer from overtime.
were y'all able to keep our identities mysterious? Because you know you and Grind at the time, y'all didn't show y'all
No, we
faces.
would have to we would have to reveal it for that too.
Okay, so did that have any weight in that too? It's like, dude, I really want to show my
Yeah,
face
that
on
had
this
a weight
side.
too. I think part of it was okay, the face reveal thing, and part of it was like we have to end the clan also.
Yeah, that's so crazy, bro. Because that means yo overtime, really working overtime, dog. Let me tell you something. So
They
I don't know if you
were,
saw
but
my
I was like,
podcast with Davis, right?
what? Oh no!
Davis got
I know about this.
overtime hit up
I
Davis.
know. Davis got invited. So me and
Yes,
Davis would have
Davis and
combos about
Duke. Okay.
me and Davis would have combos. We had a combo about this. I got invited. He got invited. We were talking. We were like, "Yo, should we do this?" Like I had
Okay.
combos. I had talked to Davis. Me and Davis used to talk about a lot of because me and Davis go way back. I know Davis before I started YouTube. So
Mhm.
me and Davis would have combos about the overtime. There'd be a lot of behind the scenes thing. We had talked. Me and Davis had a whole combo about the overtime situation, and they had flown out. I
Yeah.
think they went to Atlanta and talked to him. Like I remembered all that.
Yep.
Like
They
he told me
did.
about
Yep.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. They
I
were trying
thought
to
that
create
was
like a
absolute.
whole super plan.
Yeah. Because if it would have been, if they would have got what they wanted, they would have had the TW people. They would have had you. They would have had Grinding. They would have had Duke, and they would have had Davis. Now I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's other
Yep.
names probably floating around that were a
Yep.
part of that. Um, overtime really went crazy, and I know like with the Cole when I did the Cole podcast, and he kind of gave the
Yep.
backstory about all that, which is again you dodged the bullet, obviously. Like so, you made the right choice, obviously, and Davis. Everybody else made the right choices about avoiding
So
what that actual agreement was going to be.
my thing was that what it seemed like they were doing is I was building my own platform, building my own clan, doing very well, and it seemed like they were trying to pay me a salary, what 3, 4,000 a month, and try to get me to do the work of building an organization for them. And I'm not going to build an organization I don't have stake in. Like, you know what I
Of
mean?
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
what, you have complete
Equity.
ownership, and I'm just, yeah, yeah, you got to give me equity or something. I'm not just building up your
Mhm.
clan for free when I could just do this myself. Like,
Yeah,
so no,
exactly.
that was a deal
Okay.
breaker for me. Yeah,
That's dope, man. That's dope. I did not know that, man. I did not know that. That is crazy that
yeah.
overtime did it. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe if I gotta go back and look, but I think maybe Agent was involved in it too. But I'm not sure. But
I don't know about
okay,
agent.
good. So y'all didn't do the overtime thing, and then of course, we just talking about the chalk situation. Let's talk about when did the other heavy hitters come in, like Solo and Double H and what's the other guy? Which are
There's
your
sort
other
of
third? The
the top
Solo,
six people are Luck, Clutch, Solo, Double H,
Luck,
Grinding. Those were the biggest.
Clutch. Yeah.
So, you want me to break down? If you ask a specific person, I can tell you, or because they didn't all join at the same
Well,
time. So,
okay,
who
well
do you want
play
me to
this
start
then.
with?
Play this.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this because I know just focus on
Mhm.
Solo and Double H because I feel like you know they have been extraordinarily huge. As you can tell, they're at the community days and stuff now. Like they have
Yep.
done everything. And so when did they come into play?
Okay, so Solo I had known because my clan HG, one of my clan members was actually his IRL. His name was Iconic, and basically I would play with his IRL a lot because we were in the same clan. And Solo would watch those streams, and I kind of met Solo because he'd be in my streams all the time, and he became a mod for my channel. And I'd play with him sometime on stream, and he had started grinding for DF probably in early 2K19. And
Mhm.
so he had gone through like the grinding process, and then we had recruited him because we seen him for a while. Double H, I knew him. I was recommending him from Supreme. Supreme had told me like, yo, this guy, you need to check him out. He had played events with him, and basically I was like, I don't really know this guy, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I recorded, we were in a party one time, and he helped me do a video one time, and it went so well, and I was like, yo, this guy is actually like really good at content and everything, so let's add him.
Mhm.
So Double H joined before Solo. I knew Solo before Double H, but Double H joined in 2K19, and Solo
Mhm.
ended up joining in 2K20. And they weren't huge names at the time. Like Double H probably had like 1K subs, Solo maybe
Yeah,
like 1.5, 2K. But there were
yeah.
people that we saw like potential in and to build something like long term.
Nah, you really did. Like I said, bro, like I don't want to say birth because I feel like birth is disrespect, but
Yeah.
you really
Yeah.
did propel a lot of
I always like to
creators.
say I think all these people had it in them to do them themselves
Damn right.
completely. And but I always say I think I'm a really good talent evaluator. I know you know what I mean? I know when
Yeah.
people got their talent, I know when people got potential. And what I try to do is I think the potential is always in these people. I just try to help them realize what I know that they're capable of,
Yeah.
and give them the
Yeah.
tool. That's why I see it for clans. Like, you know what I mean? When I was starting content, I always wish I had people. I got scammed out of designs. I always wish I had people to help me with monetization, video ideas, and
Mhm.
direction. And so that's why I add people, and I try to do with my clans is okay. Let me find content creators that used to be in the position I was, and help guide them
Yeah.
and make it a little bit easier for them to reach that potential without all the roadblocks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember you breaking down all the big ones when they came in. It was like, yo, no,
Yeah.
there was somebody on the internet was trolling you, talking about like
Yeah.
how
Mhm.
they didn't need a clan, da 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 da, like all that type stuff. And
Yeah.
then you broke down. You was like, well, when Solo joined, he had this, and then
Oh, I have to
six
show
months
you. I
later,
have a Hold up. Can I show you? I have a graphic. I don't know if you can put it up.
yeah,
Can
I
you
remember.
put it
Oh,
up?
trust me, I
Or
remember. Yeah, you can pop it up if you want to, but I remember. Yeah, go ahead if you
let
want
me
because you were.
see.
I remember the breakdown of you showing that, and then I was sitting there. I was like, damn, like if you join DF, you guaranteed to hit 100K. Like you produce so many 100K subscribers on YouTube from your clan. I don't know how many it is, but I know it's over 10 people that you've given that got to over 100K
I'm gonna put it in.
subs.
I'm gonna put it in this chat that we have for the thing.
Yeah.
And
Let me
I don't know.
read off
Can
that, bro.
Coach put it up there? I don't know
Nah,
if
we
Coach
probably
can
have to
put it
put it
up
up
there or
as post production, but that's cool. I still want to take a look at it. I got
yeah,
my little
okay.
notepad here question, but damn, yeah, like that's crazy.
So this is
So
the
when
starting.
grinding, so
Yep.
I'm gonna read it off right now, and then we'll probably just put it up afterwards. But so when Solo joined, he had three. Now, how many? Was this a month later, or this was just like currently as a state now?
No, this is like
When
this
did when he
probably like
start?
a year or year and a half. Year and a half. This
Oh,
is
there it
old.
is.
Like they have
Okay,
more
cool.
subs than this now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they got way much more substance. But so when these individuals
Yeah.
joined,
Yeah.
this is when they joined, and then a year later where they were at
Yeah.
after joining, right?
Not always a year, but like we all took this at the same time. So it was kind of like when they joined and then like 2K20 or 2K21 we took this.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely
was shorter
amazing.
than some people. Yeah, and that's what I say. At the end of the day, like people can say whatever they want. I think people try to paint DF as like this bad, terrible thing, but it
Yeah,
got results for people, and it did,
yeah,
and that's something like
yeah.
I'm extremely proud of. You know?
Exactly. No, I am. I will say this, man. Out of all the clans, as a grown adult as myself, I would, I
Yeah,
look at things a little from a different type of lens. Remember, I come from the
yeah,
standpoint I don't care about clans. I don't really feel for them. But
yeah,
one thing I would say is that when you was pulling that out, I was like, damn, like, well, his clan actually is working. Excuse me, because
yeah,
at the end of the day, if I'm gonna be a part of something and then it propels me to get to where I can, take care of my family or at least take care of myself, then that's great. And if a lot of people that's watching this podcast, when you hit 100K subs on YouTube, it basically puts you in that rare element of where you're going to get marketed by YouTube more than anything else. Like that 100K platform is really, really big to hit. So 100K, that's why you get your plaque at 100K. It's a very big milestone. It's extremely hard to hit 100K. I don't know what the actual number is now, but a lot of people think there's a lot of 100K subscribers on YouTube. It's not. It is not. It's less than 1%. It's a very small percentage.
yeah.
You got to think about it.
It's
So it's like
0.001% probably.
yeah, very. Oh, it's very small. I remember I put the graph up. We had a back in
Yeah,
2K20. We had a chat with all these creators, and we put it in there. And it was a chart that said like how many people had 1,000 subs on YouTube, how many people had 10,000,
yeah.
50, 100,000, a
101
million,
million.
like all that type stuff like that, whatever. And I mean, when I tell you, I don't want to lie, but I know people. If you look it up and you'll see, it's a very 0 point. Like it's very rare to hit 100K. So 100K is very, 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 very big
And
on
and Demi,
YouTube. You
I'm
got a
glad you
better chance
talked
to
about
make it to
that.
the NBA than get 100K on YouTube.
I'm glad you talked about that because that's actually part of the reason where DF came from too. Starting out doing this content in the community, it's so hard to really break out, right? And so what I said is, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a little fusion. If when you go in a clan, my growth is gonna benefit your growth now. Your growth is
Hmm.
gonna be my growth, and now we're sharing fan bases, and that's kind of idea, like
Yeah,
statistically behind it. That okay, now we're gonna grow 5 times as fast because you're giving me your fans, I'm giving you my fans. We're gonna make these videos together, and it's gonna fusion together, and it makes it easier for
yeah,
everybody to grow in a community where we know it's really, really hard. So it worked for me.
yeah,
I can't speak for nobody else. Maybe other people don't need it, but it worked for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
It really did, man. It really did. Like I said, the power. I mean, I'm sorry, the DF clan was by far, the number one clan. And again, I'm not sitting here. I know people in comment like, well, da 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 was this. Now I'm like, listen, bro, I don't care, man. It's like, in my opinion, during that time frame, I was like, bro, I ain't seen this many 100K plus, 200K plus, 300K plus members
we had
that
7 people
organically
over
grew within it.
100K. We
Yeah,
had 7 people over 100K organically, but what people don't know is we had 20 people over 10K. We had 14 partnered Twitch streamers. We had 11 people that had 100K on TikTok. So we had the big YouTubers, but the small guys were like 20, 30K, 100K on
yeah.
TikTok. And a lot of people don't know how deep we were as a clan.
Okay, yeah, and that's true. That's very true. So then, I guess the big thing is that when it all came to a front, where
Yeah.
when did it started becoming more like all together kumbaya to where it started becoming like a competition between y'all within the big six? When it started becoming a competition, y'all were
Um,
kind of competing more with each other now instead of being like, all right, cool. Now it's like, oh, damn, like okay. But and see now, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this because a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
be
people
honest.
don't
I'm gonna be
understand.
honest. It was
Well,
always a competition.
Okay, so
Like I
okay,
don't know.
so all competition,
Yeah,
and I want to say this first though, because for a lot of people are going to start
yeah,
sitting here and be like, huh.
yeah,
Listen, if you played any sports, I played at the highest level in
yeah,
high school. I played Division 1 baseball and basketball, and I was a professional
yeah.
baseball player. And once I got into high school, your teammates are your teammates. There's your dogs, there's your boys, but it's a depth chart. And if you ain't trying to compete, then you gonna get spit. You gonna get stepped on, and it's a doggy dog world. I want people to understand that. You right now, when you're looking at the NBA, the Major League Baseball, you're looking at NFL. People, yes, you're gonna do whatever you can for your teammates and that type of deal, but you still want that spot. You want the number one
Yep.
spot. I don't care if you on a team. I don't care if you're by yourself. You still want to be the number one spot. And if you're not trying to be the number one, then you just ain't trying to compete. And at the end of the day, you in the wrong sport because
Hmm.
YouTube is very, very, very competitive. You
That's it.
have to continue to evolve. You have to continue to try to come up with the next idea. Because if you don't, you'll be last week news. I mean, like that's how quickly you can get left behind. So it's very hard to be relevant for so many years, especially someone like you. You're talking about over 10 years of in this game,
Yep.
even though you're still in college. It's just crazy. But so you said it was always like that. So then where do you think it went to the point of to where it was like where everything got leaked and it was just like, dude, like, oh my God, like Power is like trying to like, undermine grinding his editing. I want you to do mine first. Like, where do you in your mindset when did it switch towards like, yo, like this dude's really on my heels now, I got to start figuring out other ways.
So there's always this friendly competition where it's like, I want to be better than him. You know what I mean? And I see him doing something,
Yeah.
I want to do that too, and I want to be best. And I feel like
Mhm.
everybody kind of felt that way, but I do feel like it became kind of toxic in the way. But I feel like it's because as a YouTuber, there's this direct competition that you can't control, and there's a lot of things like there's
Mhm.
certain videos everyone posts. So let's say new season vid, right? We all racing out to get out that video, right? Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or
Oh,
this
and,
event
and just to put
drops.
the backdrop, I'm sorry to cut you off,
Yeah,
but put the
yeah,
backdrop in so
yeah,
people that watch know they have the same editor. All right, so y'all have the same editor. So now,
right.
now continue. All right.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. But I was kind of like doing like general, like because of that. But yeah, so we had the same editor, and so when we both want to post a video on something, now somebody's not going to get their video out. And at first, you know what I mean? At first, like the person that was editing for me was just my editor. And then so he picked up grinding kind of later. And I think he started out as an editor in the clan. So he kind of felt like he had to do it for grinding because he was in the clan.
Mhm.
And I was like, I was cool with it at first. And then I was like, man, why are my videos taking twice as long now? I was like,
Ah,
nah, like I don't like that. I don't like that because
yeah.
I'm trying to eat too, and I'm trying to do well. And I accused him a lot of
Mhm.
things where I was like, man, I feel like you trying to help him pass me
Yeah.
subs.
Now, well,
Like what are you
just to be
like? What?
clear, did he expose those DMs or did someone else expose them? Your editor exposed those
Who?
DMs?
Yes, exactly. But keep in
Okay.
mind that he exposed them 3 years later because this happened in 2K19,
Of
but it didn't
course,
come
yeah, I
out
know
until
that. Yeah, yeah,
2K20,
yeah, 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 yeah.
2020.
I know that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He exposed them 3 years later, but I just want to make sure him himself exposed those DMs. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, like you gotta figure out a way like you gotta drop him or if you want to continue to work with me, you know what I mean? And I've already paid you because I
Hmm.
pay you monthly. I pay you at the beginning of every month a set amount. And so that's where people come up with all the chargeback stuff. I'm like, if you're not gonna do my work, I'm charging back my money. And they acting like I
Yeah.
was just randomly trying to charge back people or anything. So that happened and he was like, man, I don't really want to edit for grinding to be honest, but I don't really know how to tell him that. So I was like, man,
Mm,
all you gotta do is make up some excuse. I said, you can just make up anything. If you don't feel comfortable telling him directly, you can say you have an eye patch injury, you can't really do it right now. And eventually, if he hits you up, and that's where people kind of took it. If he hits you up repeatedly and he's not hitting you, he's gonna find somebody else and you won't have to edit for him
yeah.
anymore.
All right. So
And
then let's stop
so
right there.
that's kind of yeah, yeah,
So let's start right there. So, because
yeah,
when in my mind when I saw it, when you were
yeah,
again now,
yeah,
listen,
yeah,
I know where you coming from because I come from a world of
yeah.
professional sports. I know it's a doggy dog world.
Yep.
Trust me, I know. I done
Yep.
seen some more effed up stuff than what this is with actual athletes. The things they do behind the scenes, and some people, have seen it. You know what I mean? Like sleeping with their girls, their wives. Whatever type of savage stuff they
Yeah.
do, teammates do, they do it.
Yeah.
Trust me, has it right. So I done seen it all.
Yeah.
But at what point in time? was it like where you were like, you know what, like we got something really big here. He's really big. He's
Mhm.
successful. Why not just be like, yo, grinding. I'm gonna keep it a
Mhm.
buck with you, bro. Like we can't have the same editor because like
Yeah.
we're trying to drop the same videos at the same time. So like I really want to. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm telling him to drop my stuff first because he was my editor first. This is a guy that I've had since day one,
Yeah.
and I know he can't. I know he's brought you on, but I'm gonna let you know up front. Like, listen, he has to do my videos first. Now, if you're cool with that, then you can still work with him. But if you want to kind of like, drop your stuff like soon when you win ruffles or you won, 1v1 or back then it was all these different events that people wanted to once they
Yeah.
won it or got the arm sleeve, you wanted to drop it.
Yeah.
Treasure hunters, like you wanted to drop it. I know what you're talking about.
Treasure
So
Hunter. Yep.
if you yeah, if you want that to drop that right then and there, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like you need to go ahead and find another editor because we can't just be like he can only do one video at that moment, and we're both going to finish the event, so we're both going to have the new season or the new jump shot or whatever at the same time. So why not have that conversation with him? Why go like, all right, man, just tell your editor, bro, just go ahead and say, yeah, you can't do it, or just like ignore him, or da da da. Why
Yeah.
not just hit him
Yeah.
to him straight up?
So I think it's two reasons. Number one is this complicated. Grinding actually didn't know he was editing for me too.
Oh,
So
how?
oh,
It
so
wasn't he in the
that
clan?
that's yeah, he was in the clan, but it wasn't like a known thing. Like people didn't know who my
Okay,
editor was. Maybe I
okay,
was doing a little bit gatekeeping, but anyway, but
okay.
um, that was people didn't really know he was editing for me. But for the second reason is I think that's the conversation I should have had if I look in retrospect. But I was young.
Mm,
I wasn't mature enough to have that conversation, and I thought
yeah,
from the end like, man, I don't know how he's gonna take it. If I tell him we can't use the same editor, a lot of people take that like you hating on me. You don't want me to succeed. You trying to hold me
mm,
back
yeah,
because I can't use the editor that you're using. Like,
yeah,
and I was afraid of that direct confrontation. To be honest with you, that's
yeah,
just being straight up. I didn't want to have that
yeah.
direct confrontation, and so I
Mm.
think now, being more mature, I'd be like, yeah, that's the conversation we should have had. But I didn't want to have that confrontation.
That's
I
the
didn't want to upset
conversations y'all
anybody. So
have
it was
right now.
either
The current
yeah,
DF members, they kind of know like, yo,
exactly. Right now,
it's
I'm
my
just gonna
editor.
tell somebody. I'm gonna be like, yo,
Yeah,
yep, it's my editor. You're gonna have to find. But back then, being 18, 19, I wasn't mature enough to do that. And I
yeah,
was just like, let me try to handle it kind of sneaky. Like, you know what I mean? But it
yeah,
wasn't ill intent. Like I feel like a lot of people perceive like I just really want to hurt grinding or sabotage. That was not in my mind kind of at
yeah,
all. It was just
mm,
like I kind of want to take control of the situation and I didn't really handle it the correct way.
yeah. And then when all this stuff came out 2 years later, then you can see
Yep.
how where grinding is like, bro, wait a minute, man. Like, so for the
No, he knew
past
about
two
this.
years,
He knew about
he
this.
knew about this before the information came out.
Yes, I told him this.
Wait a minute, when? Before he dropped the news, or
So I
2 years?
yeah, so I
How long
told him
after this been
I
going on?
would tell so I would tell him straight up, like, man, I'm trying. So he didn't know like the full extent, like he didn't hear the voice message type stuff. But I had told
Yeah,
him, like, man, I didn't want luck editing for you. All the DF members knew. We talk about it in the party. It was like a joke. And I told Grinding, like, man, I was trying to compete with you. I was trying to get more subs than you. Like, I told him that up front. So it's like I feel like a lot of people thought this is new, and that's why I feel like the situation is
yeah, I did
crazy.
too.
Everybody behind the
So then
scenes
why so
knew
why
this
so then
stuff
why did
already.
Grinding react the way but why did Grinding react the way he reacted when he came public?
Because one, I think it's another thing to hear the actual voice messages, and two, it's public embarrassment. Like, what can you do if you're grinding in that situation? This comes out all because he didn't put it out. Luck put it out. Remember? So Luck
Yeah,
put it
Luck
out.
did
So
put it in.
how are you supposed to react to that? Oh, it's okay. He said all this stuff about me. Like, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But you're
I think
saying
that was kind of a
100%
situation.
Grinding knew. Did Grinding know, or did he indirectly knew by you kind of jokingly saying like, "Oh, well, I'm trying to compete with you. Like, we can't have the same editor," or were you like, "Bro, I'm just letting you know. I've been telling da 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 like, you know, BS your videos and don't be doing them first." Like, what extent did he know?
So
Because
yeah,
to me,
I don't think he knew
he
the
made it
details
seem like
like
he was
BS your
like
video. Yeah,
he knew about
he
that.
didn't know the exact wording like. So yeah, he knew that something happened with Luck, and I didn't want him editing the videos, but I don't think he knew the extent of what I said and exactly what was in the messages. Does that make sense? Like nobody
Yeah,
showed him the messages, but he had a general
yeah.
idea. Like, yeah, I told Luck, and I didn't want him editing the videos, and then Luck was editing for me.
So why did Luck leak the videos? What was the issue between you and him?
Um, yeah. See, that's another story too. So I had short story is I kicked him from the clan. Long story, we can
Oh,
get into why that was. So I had kicked Lek from the clan, and he's like, okay, well, then I'm going to drop these videos of you. And he went back to the DMs.
oh, damn. Okay, okay. And it's one of those things like when
And it's
when
one of those
when
things where,
not
honestly, if it wasn't done publicly, like, let's say Lek showed grinding this privately, I don't even think nobody would have left.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I also know like during that fallout, I could tell that the members that were leaving, they were still kind of torn. It wasn't like they 100%. Again,
Yeah.
and I'm on the whole like I don't. Everybody that watch my podcast know I'm not on the mob mentality
I'm
stuff.
going to be honest with
You know,
you. I'm going to be honest with you. I had members hit me up afterwards, like, man, we're cool. You know, we're cool, but it's a bad look for me and my brand. I got to separate myself.
of course, of course. I know, but
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. But
Yep.
and
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, the brand is very, very important to a
Yep.
creator. And I felt like when that all came out, the mob mentality and everything was to pile on power. And to be honest with you, it ain't look good, right? So of course,
Yeah. It didn't look good.
I
Yep.
was like the same way. I mean, I ain't out there tweeting saying all the crazy stuff, but I was sitting there like, I was doing that gif like, with them conceited, and I was kind of like, I don't know, this don't look good, bro. This don't look good, right? Type of
Yep.
deal. But the way that you moved afterwards was like, not no pun intended, it's like you just powered through it. You were just like, you were still like, you didn't go ghost, you were still tweeting, you were still responding to people, you were still going
Yep.
about your day, like you addressed it enough in all your stuff, you apologized, you did all that stuff, but the internet's undefeated. But the way that you powered through it, I guess, or just kept on going through it, was like, even the people that were just consistently heckling you, they just got tired because they realized it wasn't affecting you, and you kept moving.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best way to get, um, people that are, God, I'm trying to figure like trolls, I guess you can say. The best way you can
Yep.
get trolls to stop is just like to show them that you're not
Ignore them.
affected. So the more that you
Yep.
show that you're hurt and it bothers you, they're gonna keep doing it. But I mean, you were literally like say stuff, and then people will comment right under it, something crazy, and you would just keep going about your day like it was nothing, or you respond back in a joking matter, but it just didn't affect you, right? So it definitely led to where you're at now, which we'll get to. But one thing I wanted to kind of go back was, did you ever talk to grinding after all this went down, right? Did y'all ever have a heart to heart
I
afterwards, or did y'all never just y'all have never spoken again after that?
not really. I mean, I sent him a DM, and then he had responded to it, and then he got mad at me again for something else. But we didn't really have a voice conversation or anything about that. But I sent him a DM. He read it, acknowledged it, and DM back one time, and that's the only kind of conversation we've had.
Yeah. And then what do you think? Do you think like um there's any way to reconcile with that thing, or is it just kind of like you don't even really care about
Um,
reconciling? You're just like, yo, we're cool, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
don't
on a
know.
bigger and better thing.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't hold any grudges against anybody, but I mean, I think me and Grinding have grown apart in that past year or two in the clan anyway. So it's like we weren't super close when the clan ended, I feel like.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, we were cool and like on a respectful level, but we weren't as close as we were in like 19 and 20. So it kind of is
yeah.
what it is. I don't
Hmm.
have any ill will towards the guy or anything. So if he hit me up, I wouldn't mind talking to him. But what I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to force a reconnect that if nobody wants to do it. I've talked to
Yeah,
some
facts.
past
Yeah.
DF members though. Yeah.
Yeah. Who like I mean, obviously I don't want to put out, your private stuff, because I don't
Yeah,
want them
yeah.
to be like, oh, yeah,
I'm
so
not
we're gonna
gonna
talk
put
about
out
what you
people
talked
because some
past.
people be kind of clicky, like, oh, you talk to power, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And
Yeah.
one thing I would definitely say is this, is that a lot of people you have to seek yourself. That's something that,
Mhm.
my mom always taught me when you deal with a lot of this stuff when I was in high school and middle school and even in college. The he say, she say, and the
Yeah.
perception that is thrown upon you, So my mom broke it down to me. She was just like, like, have you ever like read two different books about like the Civil War and like they're a history book, but then they're completely different. And you're like, well, how's a history book so different? And she was like, well,
Yep.
because history is broken down as his story, right? His perspective, her perspective, right? So the history will show if I was looking at something and you were looking at something, well, we're going to get two different experiences out of that. We'll get two different, stories to tell out of that, even though we saw the same damn thing, right? So
Yep.
what I always tell people is that even though you have a perception of somebody, you still have to seek yourself to get to know that individual. You know what I'm saying? So, like, obviously, with you, I've gotten to know you. My history with you is nothing but beautiful things, good things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the type of person to think that people have that are perfect. I know I'm not perfect, right? So I'm
Yep.
not perfect. So I know that I'm glad that people have forgiven me for things that I've done, or my friends have forgiven me for stupid things I've did. My wife, hell, like issue. I make mistakes all the time, right? So it's if everybody was literally damned for their lowest point, nobody will ever make it to a high point. You know what I'm saying? So for me, even though yes, the situation was wrong, I respect the fact that you owed up to it. Even the other stuff, when people were like, when you were talking to the person, calling me master and all that, regardless, you owed up to all of it. And, to me, from the moments that I gotten to know you, the conversations we've had, and just to know the person you are, I'm the type of person is that until you do me wrong, I'm not going to sit there and let other people's situations, you know, um, break that communication to where it can't happen unless it's on some like extreme stuff, right? Then I'm like, yo, I can't deal with it. But
Yeah.
this little banter back and forth, that's just something that is like you can mature and grow and go under that, and you did. So
Yeah.
for that part, I do applaud you for to be able to still stand 10 toes down and continue to push forward and do what you do, because at the end of the day, this could have broken you. This could have broken everything that you've built, but you decided to say, you know what, instead of go hide or instead of go around it, you decided to go right through that thing. Like you fought right on through. And now you're looking at it like 2.5 years later. Look where you're at now. You got a whole new clan. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's still DF, but you have a whole new bunch of members. And I still see people now tweeting like, yo, tweeting at you, tweeting at your org time. So I'm grinding for the DF clan. And you have
Yep.
DF members that are still dealing with 2K, that's coming to community day and that type of deal. So the clan is back and it's flourishing. It ain't as big as it was back then, though, dog. We can keep it a stack there. That the run of power of the run of the DF clan from 2K, was it like 19 to 22, was epic. I don't think that there will be another clan. Well, I'm gonna say never be, but
It was a
it
special
hasn't been
time in
anything.
2K too.
Yeah, it's very special
Yeah.
time in 2K with that clan. So yeah, man. I like I said, I do applaud you for that. Do you think that your dealings with 2K has something to do with the fallout with grinding? Like, cause you have
What
you
do you
like
mean
your
by my?
logos, all that stuff.
I don't know. That's
Have
something
you ever
like you gotta
questioned like
ask
why I don't
them.
get a logo?
Yeah, I mean, I got a logo last year. I got a community build thing.
Community build logo. Okay,
Last
good. So
year.
you got a community build logo. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I did.
Was that your
But
first
I
since the
have
whole?
some. Yeah, that was my
It
first
was.
since the whole situation. I don't
Okay.
know how much is impacted by them. Like, I never really asked people, oh, why did I get a logo? Because I've never really kind of like fiend for a logo like that. It's kind of like you give it to me, you give it to me. You don't give it me, you don't give it to me. I'm not about to be
Mhm.
asking you like, where's my logo? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I feel like that's their decision. But in terms of like, I don't know. I actually have wondered that though. Like, did it affect me? I've heard from some people, oh, okay, no, it really didn't. But I've heard, I don't know. My my kind of guess is maybe it did, but I don't know. Do you know anything about that? Like, have you heard from people
Well,
like
I
it
mean,
affected me or
in,
anything?
in my dealings with 2K and the conversations I've had, because you remember, like
Yeah,
when I did my tournament, right? My
yeah,
tournament, you was in my tournament.
yep, yep,
So
yep,
that happened after everything that went down. Now,
yep.
when I submitted your name, I didn't get the pushback for you. Right? I got
Okay.
pushbacks for other
Yeah,
individuals. Like I did the podcast with
yeah,
EJ. EJ was somebody that I had to push to be able to get on and be like, yo, let's give him a second chance. Same thing for like Nadex. So like I was trying to be, and I've always been the one that tried to
mhm,
bridge and give that olive branch for people that have had like bad experiences with 2K and
yeah,
2K's have had bad experience with that creator. And I've always tried to set the olive branch out to get those creators back in good because for me, I'm like this good publicity, bad publicity is still publicity. If they're not doing anything illegal, and and the
yeah,
worst thing they're doing is just saying like fix the game, or like they're just doing stuff like that, and they're not doing like TOS stuff. We need to keep these creators around because it's good for the brand.
yeah,
Because if we no one's gonna know little Timmy, but if you get like at that point in time when I was doing my tournaments, the Xbox players were substantially bigger
yeah.
but a lot of these Xbox players was in some deep
We're
stuff with
toxic.
2K. Yeah. And I'm like, so I was going
But
down this. I'm
I
like,
don't.
damn, dog, like all y'all
Yeah,
in trouble with 2K? Like Xbox,
I
bro.
actually had. I don't know if you noticed, but I was one of the like first kind of like nets makers when they started the program. So
Yep.
I think I don't know what everybody at 2K thinks about me. I'm sure maybe some people don't like me or feel some type of way, and I had some tension
Or
in the
in life,
past, but
in life in
I
general.
have I have good relationships with a lot of people at 2K, like me and LD. Really cool with
Hmm.
LD. I've known Evan for a while. I know Stats. I know Ronnie. Ronnie's always been cool to me. I always tell people that. Like, he's always been
Hmm.
cool to me and my dealings
Yep.
with him. So I haven't seen anything directly, but of course, like I
Yeah.
can't tell you what they say or think behind the scenes. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not in their
exactly,
heads,
exactly.
but
Exactly.
my mentality has
I don't
always
really
been,
mention it unless I get pushback. But I haven't had any
yeah.
pushback with you for anything I've done. So
But it
with
has been
the deals with
strange though because I do feel like I haven't gotten maybe certain opportunities or with other people comparable with my size. But you don't know how much of
yeah.
that is that really because of the DF
Well,
situation. I don't show my face or like you know what I mean. So I don't
yeah,
know.
the
So
face part
who
has a
knows why
point,
that
and I
is?
think this is going to change. I think it'll change now since you are showing your face. That's one. But two, I was going to ask this later on, but I might as well since it kind of flows naturally into it. Why have you
Yeah,
slowed down on the content? Like you used to stream, you used to get like you were the biggest YouTube streamer, not like on Twitch.
yeah,
But when you fired up on YouTube and you was daily streaming on YouTube, you would get over 1,000 like
yeah,
it's nothing.
yeah.
Now you go to your channel, you don't stream anymore, you don't upload anymore. Like, what's going on with that aspect? You got a channel of almost 800,000 subs. What's going on? Why have you stopped with the content
So
creation?
I feel like that's kind of a myth. I do actually do stream. I feel like people just don't pay attention. You know what I mean? I get
Man,
less
no,
viewers
dog,
sometimes.
no. You streamed
Y-
this year. I
I
think I
stream
seen one stream from you.
okay this year, no, but yeah, but last year I streamed over 80 times. I did a lot of huge wagers. I wagered statistics, really huge. I wagered
Yeah,
Mo
you did.
buckets.
Yeah,
I did a wager against Wavy Mello. I went on a whole tour. I played multiple big creators. So I have
you
done
did.
like a ton of streaming and kind of videos
We're,
too. Did I
last
do
year,
it?
I'm talking
Because
about
I did in
this
20
year.
and 20. Yeah, this
No,
year,
20, you were huge,
I
dog.
just
Now listen.
yeah,
You were huge.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
22 and from 22 and back, you were consistent.
yeah.
But there's no way you're telling me you're consistent. You were
I'm
streaming
not
every
as
day
consistent
and
now
you
as
were
then.
uploading twice a week. Huh?
Yeah, I'm not consistent now as I was back then, but it's been a combination of one, just personal stuff that I've been kind of focusing on and working through, especially this year, but also just like, man, some problems with the game. I've kind of been getting annoyed. Like, the
Yeah.
proving ground stuff. You remember I was actually number three on the proving grounds for 2v2. Did you
Yep.
know that?
You were,
Um,
yeah.
and then they came out with the glitch and people are quitting and now they can pass me because their losses don't count. And then you got the post scorer spamming the close phase every single time. And it's like,
Yeah.
I need a break from a little bit of this. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Demi. Like,
Yeah.
I need a break. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for them to drop the patch. And you'll probably see
Okay.
me back making them. But I alerted people, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for them to drop the patch. And because I the
Mm.
Proving Ground is my favorite mode. That's why I like playing.
Yeah. How about the content
So
creation
I'm not
part?
gonna force
Do you
myself to play, kind of. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna force
No, I feel
myself,
listen, I
upload,
respect that.
record.
I definitely
Yeah.
respect that. I definitely respect that. I just feel like you're talented. You're too talented. You're so right there on the brink to a million subs. And again, I'm not living. You know, what I mean, this is your life. You know what I mean? I'm just looking from the outside
Yeah.
looking in. You know, if you happy, you
Yeah.
happy. But me, I'm looking like,
Yeah. I'm
dude,
happy.
he need to be uploading at least one video a week at least. Like I feel like you're leaving $20,000 a month easily. Just like you're a
But
college
Jimmy,
student. You can get 20 bands a month.
I don't do it. I don't do it for the money. So,
So you're
you know what I
comfortable
mean? I've
already
always done
now.
it
Like
for.
you're a college student. You feel like you're good. You don't need no money.
Yeah, I'm
Dope.
good. I just do it out of passion. I'm good money wise. I do a lot of investing and have
Yeah.
other reports of income. I literally just, you know what I mean? I don't really care about the money. I just have to really be inspired by what I do, you know?
That's dope.
So
I
that's
can
what
respect
drives me.
that. Yeah, yeah, definitely. You think eventually we'll be able to get a Power DF getting back consistent with content creation as far as not just
Um,
streaming it,
I'm I'm
but like
I'm always gonna be consistent. I'm always gonna be upload. But if people are expecting like every single day, 3 or 4 hour streams. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna stage my life. I don't even want to do that anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, and
Do
I
you want to
don't.
keep YouTube in your future?
Yes, I love YouTube. I want to do YouTube, but I don't want to make, like I said, I don't want to make YouTube my whole life and defined it because I
Yeah.
did that for a while, and it's like I neglected other parts of my life that are very important to me. I um didn't get to talk to as many friends as I wanted to. You know what I mean? I lost track
Mhm.
with some relationships and family, and so I want YouTube to be a part of my life, but I don't want it to be my whole life, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, exactly. Do you plan on like once you graduate? I mean, I know you talked about the degree again. You getting like a really good ass degree, so you're smart as hell.
Mm,
Do you plan on using that degree like to actually get like a 9 to 5 job, or do you are you? Because I mean, come on, like you have a job. Like YouTube is like the it's like the thing. YouTuber, being a YouTuber, wake up every day to do whatever you want, have your own schedule, you can do whatever. Or do you plan on using your degree and actually like work in that field and
Um,
like, you know what I'm saying?
I have some, I'm not gonna go too many details. I have some aspirations for some stuff that I'm pursuing and I want to pursue.
Mhm.
Um, something I've wanted to do since I was like a child. So we'll see how it goes,
Dope.
Demi. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but there are some things like specifically like I'm trying to pursue, and that's part of the reason why you don't see me as uploading as much.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said earlier, I was like,
Yeah,
your life to live. Me as a fan, because I am a fan of yours. Like I do love
yeah.
your work, your content. Of course, me as a fan, fans are selfish, right? We're like, bro, like I want to see
Mhm.
power. Like I love watching your streams. You're like I just could not twist my head around how you could like literally read chat as consistent as you did and be active and still play at a high level. I was like, dog, like this dude is like beating this dude's ass and he's talking to the chat. And I think he's reading questions while he's shooting. Like, it's like you were really good at what you did. Right. And then your
Yeah,
videos were really good too. So, the talent is there. There's no define. I mean, obviously, you don't get as many subs as you do if you don't have talent. So, you definitely have the
yeah.
talent. So, um, that's pretty dope. Now you good. It is cut.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I was on my phone. Somebody called me and then it stopped it. Like I don't know what happened.
Oh,
Like I
it's
don't
all
know who
good. It's all
called
good.
me. Like it just popped up. I was like, yeah, that's gonna yeah, but we're good now.
Nah, you good. But yeah, so that's pretty dope. So then let's go into you talked about it briefly, but we can go into it more. The state of 2K
Mhm.
right now. Um, we know there's a lot of issues going on, but I feel like a lot of creators have been just absolutely bashing 2K. And rightfully so. Like this is keeping it a stack. There's some
Yeah,
glaring issues within the game and it even got to the point to where you lost the motivation as a top 3 player in ranking in proving grounds to even say, you know what, it's not even worth it. We can see
yeah.
people like Hank the Tank. I mean, Hank like every hour is tweeting something of a clip of how he's having issues with the game. Um, what's your stance right now, other than the proving grounds not playing? I mean, like, what are some glaring issues you think that need to be resolved in order for it to be like one of the best 2Ks? Um, that we played in a while. Because I feel like the game is good. It's
Um,
so much potential to be a great game.
yeah. I like a lot of the stuff in the game. They need to fix the close fade stuff. Like, the fact
Yeah.
that you can go and doesn't matter what your contest is. It doesn't matter if you jump it. It doesn't matter if you're 7'3". It doesn't matter if you have a long wingspan. And a shot literally cannot be contestable. Even if the other parts of the gameplay are really, really good, people just going to spam
Mhm.
that same move, and I think it takes
Yeah.
apart from people being able to see the full potential of what the game can be.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really, I'm not a really big complainer. I don't have too many complaints. Most of the time, I just get on the game and play. You know, I don't be thinking
How
about
about the
it. They're
shooting?
gonna
You
do
think
what
the
they do
shooting
with
is
the game.
perfect?
I'm a fan of the shooting, and a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the shooting. I think
I'm a fan of
games
the
are
shooting
better.
too.
You are, yeah. I
Hell
think
yeah.
games
I
are
like the
better
fact that
when
people
there's
can't
a
shoot all the time. You
exactly when
know?
there's a shooting skill gap where shooting's not automatic, but people have to learn how to shoot. Where if bad players have to learn the time to jump shot, and I think that makes the game
Mhm.
better. It makes different versatility in builds. Like you can see low 3-pointer
Yep.
builds, high 3-pointer builds, and there's a reason to use different type of builds instead of the same build because you can shoot on whatever build you
Exactly.
make.
It's been a renaissance
So
of insides too, you know?
yep,
Been
and
a
it brings back
renaissance of
insights because before, yeah,
bring back
before there was
insides.
no insights. So I think when you have this difficulty in the 3-point shooting, it makes every single build and play style viable. And I think that's something that's really important for the game. So I don't have any
Yeah.
complaints about that part. But
Yeah.
the glitches and the bugs have to go for me. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna wait it out. I don't care. I'm just
God,
living my life,
yeah.
you know.
If the strike packs wasn't a thing, man, I feel like God, the game would be like perfect as far as the shooting aspects goes. But when you have people that can like pull up a device in green, and then for us, we're trying to play normal, and of course, just by the way the difficulty of the game, you're not expected to go 8 for 8 from three. So when you are like competing against somebody that the game to 21, they can literally go 7 for 7, and you're like, well, dog, like I know after my fourth shot I've hit this fifth one, I gotta, this it might go in, it might not. Like it takes away the spirit of the game, the competitiveness, and of course, there's nothing really 2K can do. They tried everything with the devices, so I feel like that has put a real bad damp as far as the how far this game could have gone potentially. It could have been like the best game ever, but for some reason they found a script for rhythm shooting, right? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, like
Yeah.
because I mastered rhythm shooting because I knew it was like, yo, I have to do this. I literally spent the first week playing terrible, and I was always apologizing to my point guards. I'm like, I apologize, bro. I'm just really trying to get this rhythm shooting down. I know this rhythm
You
shooting is
hit
going to
me
be
up to
game
play.
changing.
Good thing I was busy that day.
You damn right. Hey, I'm good now, man. I'm shooting like 52% now, so I'm doing pretty decent. You know what I mean? But I gotta ask this because I do want to, get you out of here. But I want to ask a couple more questions. I think this is a really good one to ask. You're a stretch. You've always been a stretch since I've known you, right?
Yeah.
Who's on the Mount Rushmore of stretches in 2K? Stretch
Stretch
bigs.
big. So the five names, is it 4 or 5 on Mount Rushmore? Do you know?
It's four, right?
It's
I don't know. Is
I
it
don't
four?
know.
Let me see.
I don't know.
Let me see. Let me see. Mount Rushmore. It looks like there is one, two. There's four.
Okay. So I'm putting myself on there. I don't know if people agree that I disagree, but I'm putting myself. I'm a big believer. Like, you know what I mean? You got to believe in
Yeah.
yourself if you want anyone else to. Um, I put Duke up on there. I think Duke really made a big impact as a stretch.
Hmm.
I'm struggling to think kind of apart for that because I know some people that they were good on stretch, but they were good like 1 year. You know what I mean? Like Grindr was really good at stretch in 19, but he stopped using it. Joe Knows was
Hmm.
good on stretch back then, but he's not really a stretch anymore. So it's like, I
Hmm.
don't know. Soul Illuminati used to be a really good stretch actually, back in the
Yeah.
day, System 17. So I put Soul Illuminati up there. And I don't know, Nate used to have a stretch that was good for a while, but I didn't feel like he was ever good on the stretch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he was a better inside than he was a stretch. So I don't know. I'm struggling with four. I'm gonna put me, Duke, Soul Illuminati. A lot of people don't use stretches. I don't know if you've noticed that. And the people that you do use stretches, Demi, I feel like they move away from it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I can see that. I figured that Duke would be on there. Because
Hmm.
I know that Duke is, and even to this day, he's kind of like you. Like he just adjusts with the times. Like he's still
Yeah.
gonna make a power forward that's gonna be considered a stretch based upon the standard of how the games is right now. Stretches are pretty much like 6'7", 6'8". You know what I mean? So
Yep.
um so I know Duke was on there. I didn't know about Solo Nine. That was before my time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anybody about that. But that's a good one though, because he's still one of the OGs, and I can see how that could be a stretch that people can utilize. But you're right though. Now that
He's
I'm
the
sitting there
reason I made a
thinking,
stretch. He's the reason I
oh
made a
really?
stretch, Soul Illuminati. Yep.
Okay. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. Do you ever think about being on guard? Have you ever made guards?
I have. I've never tried to be like if you see the way I've been making my stretch over the years is
They can dribble.
I can run guard on it or I can run big, and it makes me versatile because when I first got in the game, the hardest part, and I think a lot of 2K players experience this, it's hard to find teammates. If you're a guard, now
Yeah.
you limiting your teammates by half because you can only play with bigs, even more than half because most people aren't bigs. If you're big, now you can only play with guards. So the thing I like about my build is if you're a guard and you want to run, I can go run with you if you're 6'2". If you are 7 foot,
Yeah.
7'1", I can hop on and run with you too. And so
Yeah.
I've always liked that stretch because it keeps me being able to play with everybody. And that's why most years I only have 1 or 2 builds. I don't have 10, 15 builds like most people because
Yeah.
I don't need to. So I like I like the ability to be able to play with everybody. And that's why
Yeah.
I haven't really considered guard or even center big really.
Okay. My last two questions. Why do you always are you a Mavs fan?
No, it was just maps actually come from it was the HG colors, my clan HG. We'd all wear blue and I
Mhm.
would wear that and it just kind of stuck. I was like, I'm gonna keep wearing maps just because that was the HG colors and I got used to it. You know, it was just I like the clothes.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm like, dude, you make the same freaking character every year.
Yeah, and they oh, and people would just make all kind of assumptions because I know famous birthdays they put down like, oh, he's from Dallas. I'm like, I'm not from Dallas, but they thought that
Yeah.
because I would wear map stuff. Yeah.
No, you always made like you always had on the Mavs outfit, use the same dark default character, that you had. But it's funny
Yeah.
now because like you and now that you sit there and that you're like, well, maybe he was trying to make something resemblance of yourself. It
I
never looked
did.
like you.
But people would like people be like, bro, you know how people would be crazy because people, I guess, even though I didn't hide my race, like I told people all the time I'm black, but people like, oh, you must be lying or something. So people be like, I get comments like, yo, why are you making a black my player when you're not black? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
You're like, no, what you mean? I'm black. But you know what's so funny though? Like, I remember when you were like, there was someone in your stream, and I remember someone say something like that, whatever. And then you was
Mhm.
like, well, what color do you think I am? Right? And people
Yeah,
were and like people
yeah,
were yeah, I remember your stream you were saying that, and like everybody was saying everything but black. And I'm like, and I was sitting there
exactly.
thinking, I was like, I mean, like, he's not weird like that to where he's like, I really think he's black. Why? If he's saying he's black, he's black. But everyone's like, no, he's Asian, he's white. There's no,
They think I'm
why did
faking
a lot of people think
it.
you were? Yeah, I was like,
Okay,
but it's
I
so
think
funny now.
people thought I was Asian because I have a little lisp on certain words, and then because I guess you pronounce words a little bit differently, they're like, "Oh, he must be Asian." Like I don't know, like I think that was it.
Nah, bro, it was a consensus that everybody thought that you was Asian, man. So, but yeah, okay, that's dope. And last thing, man, wagers, right?
Hmm.
I like to say that you're one of the top wager players of all time. Is it fair to say that Ticino is the wager guy though, or what
Yeah,
would you
he's the
say as
wager
far
guy.
as like, yeah, he's the wager guy. Okay,
Because
cool.
I'm not really a wager guy. I am a wager guy, but I'm more of a matchup guy. Like I used to do like I always tell people like we don't have to put up money and wager. We can, but I'm always down to just play and play against the people. So I had a lot of matchups that were very huge, but they weren't necessarily wagers. Like we would just play
Mhm.
against each other. Like back in the day before 20, Ticino actually started a whole wager thing, and we can go into that. I thought it's good
Good luck.
content, but I also think it's detrimental because people don't just want to play anymore. Now they always want put up money, put up money.
Of course, yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, and it's
And
like so. I think I'm a big matchup competitive guy, and that's what the content like. Sometimes I do like we're gonna pull up on somebody or play against each other or do wagers. And I've had really huge wagers, but Tessino's definitely the wager guy more than me.
yeah, yeah. But you're. Do you consider yourself a creator or a comp player
Oh,
or
I'm a
both?
creator. I'm a creator. So I always tell people like I don't just comp for comp. Like some people were just like they're just playing comp because they really would prove themselves to be the best. Like I'm comp for content, which means if we can't figure out a way for me to make any content out of this matchup, I don't care about playing you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I can
I'm not
respect that. Yeah.
playing you just the content. I need everything. I'm comp for content. So every comp has to be. I like competing, but we got to figure out a way to put this in my content, or I don't care about it.
Yeah. But the thing that's so funny with you, because if y'all look at my friends list, you're always for the past 4 or 5 years always been one of the top high win percentages on my friends list.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, but he plays in the stage. But not only that, I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, you don't play with the meta builds.
No, I
So
don't.
you're
I don't.
winning games. at a very high clip playing with unconventional builds. Like
Yeah.
being the playing twos and having a power forward as the primary ball handler is
It's
not top,
crazy.
right?
Yeah, it's not.
um,
Yeah.
is that intentional, or is that just like, are you intentionally saying like I just don't want to, I want to go against the grain, or is just literally you're just like, this is what I like playing with, and I just happen to be good and beat everybody with this unique
Um,
lineup?
it's a little both. I feel like the meta is misleading because what you want to do, and I tell everybody, stop copying people's builds. And you can look at people's builds. I actually think you need to watch build videos. It's a key thing you have to do. But a lot of times you should go into build video, take the knowledge and what they give you and tweak it to your play style. You know what I mean? Like I use build videos as templates. I'm gonna watch your build video, somebody else's build video, and then I'm gonna tweak it to what I like to do. And when you try to
Mhm.
exactly copy people, so that's how my build is. Like it has some meta moments, but I tweak it to how I like to play. And
Yeah.
and that ends up being unique. And I do think about sometimes where it's like some part of it is a little bit purposely not against the grain, but when you're doing YouTube, certain builds are more popular. I don't know, you know this too. Like
Yeah.
people don't like why if you're an inside center, you're not getting the fan base. Probably. Like I'm
Mhm.
not gonna say never, but how many inside centers do you know that are big YouTubers? Can you name them?
Only a handful.
Yeah, and even other certain ones, like it's been tough even as a stretch to kind of stand out and make it. And that's why we
Yeah.
can't really name many people. So I've tried to put some ball handling on it because I think people find like these speeds to dribble a little bit more entertaining too. So I've tried to make a play style that I think is going to appeal to people watching, but also
Mhm.
try to be unique because you can go meta, but I also feel like it's hard to stand out meta too. If you got the same guard as everybody else, then what makes you different? Why should I watch you over Fana, who's the best meta guard? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're
Like,
right, you're right.
so
You know, you
so it's
100%
like
right.
me. I
I
got
mean,
a nice
I'm
little.
a living example of that. My
Yep.
YouTube channel is all about just rare builds, like these weird, quirky builds. I hit
Mhm.
legend on a lob threat. Like I've always, hit legend on rare builds. I play on rare builds. Like I don't use a meta build at all. So you always see me pull up. Everybody see me pull up something like, bro, like what the hell did you have? Like what build is this? I'm like, no, trust me, it's rare, man. But trust me, it's gonna play just like that stretch you usually run with, or it's gonna play just like the
Yep.
lockdowns that you run. Like I got a lock, but it ain't like a lock, but it's a lock. You know what I mean?
But not
Because I
everybody
always try to
can
be
do that.
different.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes I get where smaller people where it's like, man, some people are like, man, I'm not playing with that build.
No, facts. Facts. It's each his own. But I'm kind of in the same realm as you. I'm like, listen, I'm not about
Yeah,
to sit on this game and
yeah,
just play this game just to play if it's not bringing any returns. Like I need to,
yeah,
I know that there's still a very big growing market for
yep,
rare builds. And then not only that, but rare builds that are like crushing it against meta builds. Like everybody knows La Monster for the two-way slash and playmaker. Now, when
yep.
two-way
Two
slash
K
and
twenty. He
playmaker
started the
first came
wave.
out, everybody shitted on it, bro. Like I remember every single year, Lamont and I and some of the homies, every year for the past 5 2Ks, when the gang first come out, we all are in the chat together and we're just doing it. And I remember vividly in 2K20 when it came out and Mont was going with this two-way slash and playmaker, had very low shooting. Everybody was shitting on it. They was like, yo, this build is gonna be terrible, da da da. And then Mont came out there and absolutely destroyed. I'm talking about he was cooking with it. And then everybody and their mama started making two-way slash and playmakers, right?
Yep, that was
And
the
then
build.
his channel, his videos were just going
Crazy.
astronomical because people were like, bro, how is he shooting with a 67 three ball? More back in 2K20, it was a 67
Because
three ball with
I
the
know Le
yellow.
Monster. I know Le Monster way back. I knew Le Monster since 2K17.
Really? So he was
Yeah.
still locked in, right?
Yeah, so he was a lock. He used to play with Hank a lot. That's how I used to know because
Yep.
I was where Hank was in HG.
Mhm.
And I had pulled up on him. He beat me bad. But yeah, so you don't notice that I used to play on PlayStation in 2K17 a little bit too. So that's how I met Lamonster. Lamonster always he's been really good, but he transitioned really well from that lock to being a guard, which I thought was cool and
Yeah.
dope.
Man, I think I've said this in every podcast, though. La Monster is like, because I don't play, we don't just play 2K. Like I play a
Mhm,
lot of other stuff with him. And
mhm,
Lamont is that dude that genuinely, no matter what game he gets on, he's automatically good
mhm.
at it. If I if I had a dollar for every time, I'd be like, bro, like there was a new like Super Mario Smash Brother knockoff type game, and it just
Yep.
came out. and we were playing it, and he was beating my ass. And I'm like, dog, I was like, did you just play this already? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? He was like, nah, I'm just playing the first time to you. And I'm like, dog, how the hell you already good at this game, dude? You know, so I knew it'd be an easy transition. You get some people that are really naturally good at video games that they can get on anything and just be good at it. So, you know, I knew that'd be easy transition. He's been a point guard ever since. So, but yeah, that I know like the two-way slashing playmaker was a really big thing for him. Same thing for you, Duke Dennis. Y'all made the stretches like really, really
I was
big, especially in
actually
2019.
I was actually in a La Monster video. I don't know about this. It's got 1 million views. It was huge, but he got big content creators. He got me, him, um, Davis, Duke, and Grinding, and we made a poem team. And we had played that and it had blown
Oh,
up. That was yeah. I made a
yeah,
video with
yeah,
La Monster. That was a really cool video. So I always had good
yeah, man.
experiences. Like he made some really dope content.
Nah, yeah, he really does, man. He's one of the True, I'm the reason they wouldn't be Uncle Demi without him. So I've always gave him love because he was the first major big creator that put me on and you know, got me the notoriety and the kind of like how you did with DF, right? By
Yeah.
association with power and the DF org, you get a lot of views, you get a lot of this. And same thing, everybody know with TSL, even though it's not an org, it's not a clan, you know, but TSL, um, I will run with him all the time. And of course, by association, by me being in all the videos, Flow Jerk and stuff, shoot, we was getting a lot of views I love and make, you know, told me to make a YouTube channel and I made it. And, you know, the rest was history. You know, a lot of people can, you know, you can make your way into the game organically
I
by yourself, or
always
sometimes you gotta go ahead.
I always say that. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a good point. I feel like a lot of people in content they try to make like I don't know. I did it all on my own. Like nobody helped me. And I will say I always want to give credit to the people who helped me grow because that happened to me too. A lot of people put me on, and so before I even streamed or did content, I used to play twos where I'm annoying. You guys, you know annoying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Annoying
Yeah.
put me on heavy. I was in this chat. That's how people knew me even before I started streaming because they see me in annoying streams. Even though I don't like
Mm-hmm.
him, Nade put me on a lot too. When he was in my clan,
Yeah.
I used to play with Nade all the time. He helped me get top rep. When Hank joined my clan in HG, I had 50K subs. He joined my clan as one of the biggest content creators. He had 300K and went and joined my clan, shouted me out in a whole video, gave me like 10,000 subs. Like I'm serious.
Yeah.
He put me on a lot. Hank did.
Mm-hmm.
And even with DF, even though I was bigger than a lot of people, when they grew, they put me back on too. Grinding definitely put me back on when he was blowing up. Double H put me back on. Clutch, all of them, all those guys put me on a lot. So I'll never sit
Yeah.
here and act like there weren't people along the way that helped me get to my level because they did. I wouldn't have been able to do it without everybody else helping me and people not just helping me just direct shout outs or anything like that, but along the way just giving me advice. Like it matters, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. That's beautiful. That's powerful because you're right. A lot of people have a hard time just admitting to the fact that you got help. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. There's nothing wrong
There's
with
nothing
that
wrong.
at all. I have no shame in the game with all the people that helped me get on. I say it religiously. Lamonsta, Duke Dennis, and Davis. Those guys put me on crazy. Then Bash Plug
Yep.
came in, put me on crazy when we were doing the Legend videos with Lamonsta Bash Plug. I mean, bro, I would literally sit there at 10K subs, and every single
Oh,
time
Duke
Lamonsta
put
did
me
a
on
video,
too. You made me forget. Duke
Duke,
put me on. He would we do videos all together. He'd do the three stretches videos. Me,
yeah,
him, and it'd be everybody's Chris. I used to be in so many Duke videos. Duke put me on a lot too. I forgot about that. You just reminded
yeah.
me.
Trying to tell you,
Yeah.
man, I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't think I know it's just like, yo, because see, people be like, well, dang, dog, you dropping
Yeah.
me to go do a video with mine or what? Damn right, dog. This about to be another
Oh,
10K
Davis
subs. Hold
put
on, I'll
me
be
on
right back.
too.
Now,
Yeah.
Dave, now
No,
see, Davis did, yeah. Nah,
Davis
Davis
put me
really
on
put,
because
yeah.
he had those he put me on a lot of knowledge and advice. Like I didn't know a lot about the content space. He would tell me so much about the content space. Like
Mhm.
Davis gives really he's so smart. Like like people don't know Davis is
Davis started
so
young just
smart.
like you, bro. Y'all probably the same age,
Yes.
man. So y'all
Yeah,
both
we
young as hell, man.
we met in like a Twitch chat. That's how we met. But anyway, Davis he did a Real. He put me on to the whole did when we used to do DF Reals, you know about that? we
Yeah,
we did those DFR videos because of Davis. Like Davis had me in one of his videos, and it was like a race, and we were doing like he did it on different consoles too, and I was like, this is cool. Like I want to do this with DF type
yeah,
stuff. So like inspired me content wise, but even also just like putting me platform and getting my name out to people. And I'll never forget this. My Twitter got suspended in 2K18. I don't know why. It just randomly got suspended. I made a whole new Twitter. Davis shouted out my whole Twitter and helped me get 2K followers in a day on my new Twitter. So
Damn. So
he's
the
a
one that
real
right now that got all those subs, that's not even your main one?
no. I had 50K, I had 20K. I had suspended multiple times. But Davis helped me get back on my feet when I had to start from scratch. He was like, everybody go. This is Power's new Twitter. Everybody go follow him. He made a whole tweet for that, bro. It's
Yeah.
like
How much
that's
you got on
real,
Twitter
man.
right now, bro?
211K.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Nah, but yeah, like I said, man, like shout out to Davis, man. Shout out to Duke, Lamonsta. Y'all boys, y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all always looked out. You know what I mean? So really big kudos and see right there. He's helping out Power. They gotta yeah, it's pretty amazing. But again, before I wrap this up, man, last thing, is there anything that you would want to tell an up and coming creator, some advice that you would love to give them to about being successful as a content creator
Yeah.
in
It,
2024?
it's like what I said. Number one, just start. No matter what you do, doesn't matter how you start, just start. Start with what you have and try to get better. But start exactly with what you have right now. Start posting a video somewhere. So I think that's the first thing you should do. Number two is you gotta be everywhere. Don't limit yourself to one platform or one place. I always say people and be strategic and smart about it. A lot of people they'll stream 10 hours a day with a one viewer and they'll be like, I'm grinding, I'm just not getting the platform. You got to be smart thinking about this, making sure you're using your time wisely. So if you only have one,
Mhm.
0 or 2 viewers and nobody's in your chat, maybe you can still stream, but stream for an hour or two and then go make videos and put clips out there so you can have way. Because the thing that I tell people about streams, people can only find your stream while you're alive. People can find a video forever, you know?
Yep.
And so you want to put your stuff on videos and you want to be on TikTok, you want to be on YouTube, you want to be on Twitch, you want to be everywhere. And so that way you have the greatest chance of being seen by somebody when you're small. That's the
Yeah.
most important thing you can do. And then
Mhm.
number three is remain humble. One of the things I'm really grateful for is that I have fallen off many, many times. And people
Mhm.
don't know I've blown up and then I've fallen off. And that's always kept me humble, where it's like, yes, you may be blown up. Yes, you may be getting views for the second, but you can always lose it all if you lose your motivation, you lose your consistency, or you don't remember what you have. So always
Yeah.
remain humble, no matter how big you become or know how many views you're getting. You can always lose it. So remain humble. Those are my three.
Yo, that's some good knowledge right there, man. I hope you had your notebooks out for that one, man. For real. That was really good, man. But yeah, man, hey, I appreciate you as always, Power, from coming on here,
Yeah.
showing your vulnerability, being open, and candid with the conversations. Hopefully the ones that are watching enjoyed this podcast. But again, other than that, man, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. This is my man Power. Make sure you check
Power
this out,
DF?
podcast. Yeah, Power DF. Hey, yo, better yet,
Yeah.
before we go, I need to hear your intro, bro. I need to hear your intro so they know this is really you.
You saw it?
Yeah, you gotta
um,
do it on mine, bro.
yeah, I should have started with the intro. Like that should have been so good. Like, okay, wait, anyway.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should have, man. Dang, dog.
Yeah, okay, we're good. See, I don't really have an outro, so we're gonna do okay. What's up, guys? It's Power D. Yeah, back with another video, man.
Yeah, I don't know we're wrapping up, but where'd you get that from? Is it just naturally? Like, I know your intro evolved over
Um,
time.
yeah, it evolved. Like I would be like Power H G. Like I don't know. I would like hold letters and hold symbols for a while, and with the DF, I was like, okay, let me do that with DF. Let me just hold the DF, and we just hold the symbol, and it give me like a unique way of kind of saying it. And then people would
Yeah.
always like start saying it too, like Power DF, like they,
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind
what
of
it
I don't
is.
know.
Oh, yeah, of course. My intro's been the same for the past 4 years. Yours have too. When people meet me, they
Yep.
always do that, or they sing my intro song. And I think it's so funny
Yeah.
that again, it's just like a TV show, right? You know about your
Yep.
favorite TV shows, and sometimes as creators we forget, like it's like a TV show for these guys and gals that are watching us.
Yep.
So of course that Power DF, and it's so funny because I always thought you would be like Power DF, right?
It's Power DF. I do that. I do that. I do
You do
that.
that, okay?
Yeah, Power DF. Back with another
Yeah,
video,
that's so,
man.
that's so funny, dog. But
I wind it up.
yeah,
It's like wind up.
yeah,
Yeah.
nah. I'm telling you right now. Now that you got your face cam and stuff on, I promise to God, I'm gonna lose my stuff. If you wind that shit up and you go yeah, I'm gonna die, dog. That's gonna be too funny, man. But yeah, man, like I said, I do appreciate you coming on. I really enjoyed this conversation, man. You could have sat down and talked to
Yes.
anyone. You decided to talk to me, and my guy coach that's back on the ones and twos in my ear. I really appreciate you for that. You genuinely, like I said beforehand, been came from a lot, and powered on through and persevered, and you're a fellow Aggie. So I will be
Yep.
seeing for G-Ho this week coming up, man. So Aggie Pride. But yeah, for all the
But
viewers, just make sure you check this
also,
out. Go ahead.
I want to say so. Thank you for allowing me on and giving me like the platform to speak and just tell my story and with the face cam, you know what I mean? Get comfortable doing this type of thing. So I really appreciate you and all you do for the community. You hosted a lot of tournament. I remember I participated in and just doing events, getting everybody in the community involved. It's really dope. So appreciate you too.
Man, thank you. Thank you a lot. And again, the people, guys and gals that are watching, make sure you can either watch this on YouTube or you can go ahead on Spotify and all the other places where you can watch podcasts. They will be listed on there. But other than that, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. It's my man, Power DF. As usual, I will see you on the next go round. Peace.